Okay, welcome to Fantastic Dimensions. We are playing our Hudson and Brand campaign. This is part 2 of the investigation Plant Daear. So yeah, we'll pick up where we left off. It is Tuesday evening. Let's start off, since we've I think we left off with things in Wales for Mrs. Morrow and Mr. Carmichael. We can pick up with the crew in London here to kick things off. So you have a 7 o'clock meeting with Howard Jones at his house in Eagle Street. So I believe you wanted to prepare a few things before you go to that meeting, right? So we've got Wilhelm, Stanton, Walter, and Gerard.
Right. The invitation was to me, and I was hoping myself and Walter would go in while everyone else would secure the perimeter.
Okay, fine with me.
I mean, if that's okay with everyone.
So should we have some kind of way of communicating with the people outside then? Like some sort of...
Yeah, just bring your cell phones.
Well, I'm wondering whether they could be stationed at a point where they can see a window or something, and we could... Because otherwise they're just going to be sat there wondering what's going on.
I have I have a whistle.
Brilliant.
That would work.
Problem solved. 1 blast for everything is fine. 2 blasts for send help.
Right. Very good.
I'm sorry about that. Hold on. I'm sorry about that, guys.
Speaking of the whistle. Okay, yeah, that'll work for me. Anything else you want to do before you head over there? You may have about an hour before you
obviously I'm taking I wrote my will and testament, which you guys had.
Yep, I have that.
I'm asking Markham to secure a leather fencing jacket for myself, and okay. I take Hudson's revolver, stick it in my in my jacket, and I'm ready.
So Zorn, did you want to go via the housekeeper and ask her about the heritage of the young Nathan on the way there, or do you want to do that tomorrow?
I prefer to do that tomorrow. We have time, don't we?
Great, let's do that.
Yeah, I think he mentioned that he wanted to do that while Nathan was in school as well, so it'd be better to do it since it's evening already. Yeah. Okay, very good. Well then, so you travel to Eagle Street, where Jones has rooms in a small house. He doesn't own the house. There we go. Yeah, he has rooms in the house, but he will greet the two of you at the door. I guess it's Wilhelm and Walter. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Jones is dark-haired, bearded, small bear of a man. I apologize if I've read this description before, but I'm going to read it again anyway. He has kind of a worn suit that was obviously once fine tailoring, but it's been worn quite a bit over the years. And so yeah, he'll greet you and say, Mr. Von Zorn, thank you for coming.
Yes, I was very interested in your invitation. It sort of threw me aback a little bit. I had assumed our first meeting did not go as well as we may have expected.
Well, I apologize, but you took me a bit off guard. I was at the Hardwicke estate to pay my regards. I did not expect to be interrupted so.
Well, there was no offense taken, and I hope none was given.
And your companion?
This is my man, Walter.
Pleased to meet you. I'm sorry for the loss of your friend. I'm hoping that between us we might be able to make some progress on discovering what may have happened to him.
Yes, indeed. I hope so as well. Well, please, come in, have a seat. So he'll... Oh, you can make psychology rolls real quick, the two of you.
Oh, man. You know what? told me we needed dice in this game.
Right, go figure. As he takes you into this study, you'll see several artifacts, similar to the ones you saw in Albert Hardwicke's study, mostly North African in origin. There are numerous books lining the shelves on the wall. Predominant subjects are history, anthropology, archaeology, and mythology from quite a wide variety of cultures.
Okay, I missed my roll.
I rolled a 56, and I'm pretty sure I did make it.
Yeah, you missed yours as well, yeah, I think. Okay, he will fire up a pipe, pulls out a match and lights a pipe of rather noxious tobacco as he gestures to a couple of seats in the study for you to take a seat, and he will kind of sit back behind the desk.
So are they similar by comparison with the room of Albert Hardwicke? Are there similar sort of artifacts?
Yes, like the North African artifacts. Very similar styles, not the same artifacts per se, but you just it's reminiscent of the ones you saw in Albert's study.
So can I remark on that? So you and Colonel Hardwicke clearly share the same taste in African esoterica.
Yes. Albert was a dear friend of mine, and we were companions in wartime, fellow travelers and adventurers, men of the world. We both had retired here in London, and so we remained quite close.
And did you know that he had an estate in Wales? The rest of his family don't seem to have been aware of the.
No, I was not aware of the Welsh estate. Apparently, nobody in his family was as well. You say, but Nathan had expressed his surprise. But then again, I never really inquired about all of his personal possessions and properties.
So, sir, what brings us here?
Well, I wanted to share some information with you that may help you with your investigation. Earlier this week, it would have been last week. Last week, I received a package from Albert. It was heavy. It was postmarked from Brecknockshire, Wales. Inside, there was a letter and something else. And he hands you the letter.
Okay.
And the letter says, oops, I better zoom in a little bit so I can read this. My old eyes. Okay. The letter says, Howard, I realize this is going to seem a bit odd, but I have just discovered this piece under extraordinary circumstances and could make head nor tail of it myself. I thought that if anyone could decipher these scratchings, you could. Sorry to say, the only hint I can offer is that it was found here in Brecknockshire in the wild foothills of the Black Mountains. Not Roman nor Welsh. I gather runic? I don't know, so I'm asking you. I'll be able to tell you more in a few days when I return to London. I'll call on you then to explain this little mystery. Until then, please mention it to no one, not even my nephew. As I said, I'll explain all the secrecy when I see you. Yours, Albert Hardwicke.
Okay, I give the letter to Walter.
Yes. And
may I see the
next day, after I received that letter, I learned that Albert had been murdered.
And may I see the artifact?
Yes. He opens a drawer on his desk, and he pulls out a rectangular chunk of black stone. It's obsidian. It's about a foot across, about 8 inches high, and 3 inches thick. There's a flat upper surface and irregular sides. On the surface, there are 6 rows of strange wedge-shaped hieroglyphics, approximately 10 per row, each one about a half of an inch in height, running along the long axis of the stone.
Can I make heads or tails?
Do either of you have Cthulhu Mythos?
No. Thank God, no.
Okay. Then no.
Oh. I go, have you been able to decipher what this is?
I've had no luck. I was hoping that perhaps maybe you would, or you might know someone who could. I've made no progress myself. I've even tried some less, well, some seedier sides of London to try to find out. But so far no one has been able to tell me what they say.
Hmm.
I intend to keep it until I figure out what its bearing is on Albert's murder.
Would you mind if we copied out the runic marking so that we could inquire with other people about what they might mean?
Oh yes, if you want to take a rubbing, he says I have some paper here and some graphite.
It's a very good idea.
I believe it must have something to do with the murder, given the cryptic nature of the letter that he sent. I'm not sure what, but I feel obligated to find out.
Do you know? How did you know the colonel?
We served together in Africa.
Where actually?
That's a good question. Where did Albert serve in Africa? Damn you, Joseph, damn you.
I know.
I'm trying to remember. I don't think they ever actually.
See, if I was running, I would make up some wild name like Wakanda.
No, I don't like to.
We served in Wakanda.
Well, let's just say in the Sudan.
Okay.
He says the Sudan.
I say, did you? So you remain very close to the colonel. Did you come across anything, shall we say, odd or perhaps supernatural in your travels?
Ooh, give me a psychology roll.
Yeah. I made a prime number. No, I didn't make it.
Walter, you can roll that as well.
Okay. I'm not sure this is going to help.
It's worth the attempt. You never know.
Yep,
It's the only way you ever get better.
failed badly.
Okay.
And also, I didn't have those were great dice rolling sounds, which I didn't manage to generate.
Well, I've come across a few strange things here and there. Of course, the Dark Continent is a mysterious place. They have very old religions and gods there.
Of course. Have you read my book?
No, I'm afraid I have not.
Oh, you have to come over to the office.
Did you serve in North Africa?
I went there. I served in the Franco-Prussian War under Prussia. But I did spend time in Africa after the war.
And you've had some experience with strange goings-ons?
Yes, quite a bit. As I say, it's well documented in my books.
Give it another psychology roll, both of you.
Oh snap! I made it.
I missed by 6.
I made it.
Well, but so I'm gonna. Yeah. Okay.
I made it 08.
Yeah, don't spend the luck if you don't have to. Let's just do it. Because you don't get to improve it for using luck anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So you made it. So you see, as soon as you mentioned that, you have had a little bit of experience with such things, he seems to get a little bit more reserved and guarded, and he seems to have deepened his suspicions anyway. He clams up a little. Well,
I said, what about you? Have you experienced anything?
No, I've just seen some of those dark African rituals,
such as
the dances and the animal sacrifices and such.
Quite.
Very disturbing.
And how close were you with the colonel?
Well, like I said, we were companions in war. A man, when he's at war, he and his brothers at arms, they tend to develop a sort of intimacy that men very rarely share.
So it's rare that he would be so secretive, as in the letter.
Yes, I can only assume that it meant there was something very, very dire or vital, at least, if he was not willing to write it down.
Sorry, go ahead.
And you say that you found out little about the markings, the stone, but what when you showed it to people, what did they say?
Just that it was some kind of strange hieroglyphs. Some even said that it may be fake, that it didn't look like any language they'd ever heard of.
How well did you know the Colonel's family, particularly his nephew?
Oh, give me another psychology roll.
Dude, I only got 10, man.
Well,
13, missed it by 3.
You want to roll it, Walter?
Oh, okay.
You can also try.
Nope, 61.
Not very well. Not very well. Something odd about that boy.
And
I don't trust him.
Do you know who his parents were?
I only know that he was the son of Albert's late sister.
And
But I also know that he seems to be the one who has benefited the most from the Colonel's murder.
How so?
You're not suggesting that he was involved in.
Well,
something.
he's inherited an estate in Wales and London. I'd say he's done quite well for it.
An estate that but that he didn't know about, I guess.
Or so he claims, if he can be trusted.
It's
Interesting.
possible.
The boy's a bastard, after all. You have to be careful when trusting bastards.
Well, interesting. But so other than the artifact here, what else can you add to the case?
I'm afraid that's all I know. You have the etching, so if you...
Are you sure?
Are you calling me a liar, sir?
No, but sometimes one forgets things, under the stress of losing a good friend.
I am sure. If you find out anything about those etchings, I would have very much appreciated if you could let me know.
Is there anyone else in London, perhaps someone that the Colonel knew through the Army and Navy Club? Is there anyone else here that he might have confided in?
I don't think there was anyone that he trusted more than myself, if that's what you're asking.
I guess that is what I'm asking. So really, this letter is as much as we have from the man himself about this issue.
He puts the stone back in the desk drawer and closes it, and you hear a click as he locks it closed.
You know what I find is really interesting about the Colonel? I cannot understand the man. I mean, you were probably, from what I understand, what you're telling me, and the fact that he did give you the artifact, you were probably one of the few confidants he had in London.
Yes, I believe I was.
Yet he did not confide in you certain things, such as the fact that he was going to Wales, or why, or till after the fact, or anything about you didn't know anything about his family other than you don't know his nephew's
I know
father.
that he had an older brother who died. He had a sister who died in childbirth, and he raised her.
How did his older brother die?
Child as his own.
How did his older brother die?
Some sort of illness. I don't recall which.
Yeah, the Colonel certainly was a peculiar bird.
Yes, well, you're the inquiry agents. I suppose you have a better chance of finding out than I do.
Yes, and we will find out. You can believe that.
Well, if there's anything that I can help you with, of course, you know where I live. You know where to find me.
Oh, yes, we do, sir.
And if I come across anything, then, of course, I will contact you. If you do find a translation for those markings, of course, I'd be willing to pay you for them.
No need. We will let you know as soon as we find something. I stand up and go, Auf Wiedersehen.
Good day.
Thank you
good
for
evening.
thank you for confiding in us, and I would advise you to keep that stone under lock and key.
He taps his pocket where you saw him put the key after he closed the desk and says, "Thank you. It was a pleasure to meet you, Mr. Percy."
Likewise. I hope
Mr.
when we
Von
meet
Zorn?
again, it's with good news.
Good night.
night.
Sir? All right. I'll leave.
You can roll one more psychology roll.
Come
Really trying to give you a chance to improve that skill. Psychology comes in a lot more handy than people realize, I think, when they play CoC.
yeah.
Okay, so I missed it by 4, and I'm maybe willing to spend 4 luck points.
Yeah, if you want. You won't get the check mark for improvement, but you can spend the 4 luck points. You get the strong feeling, especially from that final exchange, that he holds you in somewhat of a respect or a esteem, Walter. But he was not very fond of Mr. Von Zorn at all. You can tell.
He's a good judge of character.
And you think maybe he's a little racist. He might be, maybe it's because you're English and Von Zorn's German, or maybe it's because Von Zorn's rude and you're polite. It's one of the two.
Yeah.
Maybe
I beg your pardon.
Maybe he thinks Von Zorn is a bastard.
Well, perhaps.
I beg your pardon.
Well, we can discuss this on the steps as we're descending from the building. But okay, so potentially he may so he trusts well. So he is not animosity towards me.
Yeah, you get the feeling that if one of you needs to come and talk to him again later, it might be better if you do the talking.
Yeah. Fair enough. Okay,
right.
so we hook back up with
Renard
and God damn it.
Renard and Bonham.
Bonham. Yeah, Bonham. So shall we all? By the way, there's a lot of people that's mute. There's mute. So if you're Rob, you're mute. So if you're saying something,
Most people stay muted when they're not talking, so background noise doesn't interfere. Like bosun's whistles.
ha 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 ha.
Yeah, but that was deliberate, right? Sure. Okay, so we confer with Renard and Gerard as we presumably head back to Hudson and Brand's offices.
Sure.
I show them the etchings. So with Renard, this is the stone that Renard was discussing with people already, right?
Yes.
It seems to match the description that you heard. Yes.
Yeah. He's going to want to take a look at this because I actually have Cthulhu Mythos, so I'm going to try to give that a shot.
Okay. So have you seen anything like this before?
Do you have Cthulhu Mythos?
Yes, I do.
Please roll it.
Okay. Okay. If I spend 6, I can actually get it.
That's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
It's good, kinda.
Kinda, yeah. It's not good. It's convenient.
Yes. Okay. So yeah, I made that a success.
So you spend 6 points to make it a success.
Yes.
Okay. You can identify the language. It is Aklo.
Of course.
Aklo letters. It's called specifically.
That would have been my first guess. How do we spell that? Aklo.
Aklo. It's a Cthulhu Mythos language. It's a fictional language, but yeah. It's also a form of writing that is often used by the Chocho.
Not the Chocho again.
What you do know of it anyway is that it's a written language that's used by certain pre-human and contemporary primitive cults. Renard. Now, if you want to try to decipher it, to translate it, that's going to be harder, but you can make another roll. What is your Cthulhu Mythos skill?
6.
You will need a 1%. You have a 1% chance of translating it.
Come on.
You know who would be good at this? Ruben.
The one who knows the Chocho language.
Yeah, actually.
Let's see. Nope. Nope, and that would I don't even have enough luck to make that.
Yeah, no, you're not. It's too complicated for you to translate. You don't know the language that well. You were able to identify it.
London.
But yeah, you can't translate it.
Mhm. Yeah. So he knows the language, but unfortunately, there's nothing I can do to decipher it. But it does lend itself to other nefarious characters skulking around this thing.
And so this is really a cult prehistoric language. Wow. Okay.
Well, what did you after I tell the to what we heard, and any thoughts, opinions?
I'm not exactly sure this friend is very much involved in what is going on. I think that it's probably has more to do with this stone than anything else. As he died right after he went off. Obviously, he was desperate to find something about it out. I think that's what got him killed. So I think the answer lies where this stone came from.
Yeah, I agree. He seems much less suspicious now. The fact that he showed us the stone, revealed the letter, my opinion of him has changed somewhat.
Actions?
Can't think of too much more we can do down here. Heading up, barring maybe finding a little more information on the young man's parentage, heading up to the estate would be my next suggestion.
No, I agree too. But I was going to go back and ask the housekeeper tomorrow. Did she know? She's been with the family for a very long time and may know some secrets.
And so, what at the same time, maybe it is worth trying to find someone who would translate these runes. Maybe someone at the university, or someone you know, Renard. I don't know.
Renard, give me an idea roll.
Perhaps at the British Museum.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, I got a hard success.
You know that the best chance of getting someone to possibly translate these runes would be to ask within the immigrant Chocho population. However, because you passed your idea roll with a hard success, you also know that you and the members of Hudson Brand are not very popular with the Chocho population currently, given recent cases and events that have taken part during them.
What?
You guys were recently kind of responsible for the death of a particular Chocho immigrant of status and power.
But what it was only one.
Yeah. But if we send,
it's just one sorcerer. Yeah,
but if we send someone in and don't announce them as Hudson and Brand.
Yeah. Well, yeah, if you can think of somebody who isn't as identifiable with the agency, perhaps.
I could use one of my low life intermediaries.
Mm-hmm. True, you could certainly.
As a go between, have him do it. That way, his rep will check out as being scummy, so they won't suspect him of having anything to do with us.
Mm-hmm.
Ideally,
sure.
Sorry, yeah, that would be my suggestion.
It's a possibility, something to think about. It's now getting quite late on the Tuesday evening, so I will just pop back over to Wales, to the village of Partridge, where we left Mrs. Morrow and Mr. Carmichael. You guys have your rooms organized. You've spoken to the sheriff. I think that's the last thing you did, right?
I believe so.
Correct.
Was there anything else you wanted to do before calling it a night?
Not that I can think of that we'd be doing in the evening.
Right. I don't think we got many options where we are.
Okay, cool. So then, unless there's anything else immediately pressing, we can fast forward to Wednesday morning.
Fade to black.
Yeah. A little time passage. Sun sets, sun rises again. and it's Wednesday morning. What would you guys want to do in the morning, Mrs. Carmichael, or Mrs. Sorry,
Oh, my.
Mrs. Morrow and Mr. Carmichael?
Well, that was a busy night.
Well,
Oh, my.
what did we have? What did we drink last night? Well, where did this
I'm-
ring come from,
I am honored.
Mr. Carmichael?
I do
And-
believe we agreed to move forward and check out the estate, check out the property, and perhaps check for records to include Bible-related family-type records.
Okay. Let's see. So you want to try to get someone to drive you out to the estate, essentially?
Or we could maybe secure horses. Is that or a wagon? Would that be more? I mean, a carriage. Would that be more appropriate? Or-
Here, 1 second. What all had you found out anyway about? I don't remember all that.
It's very, very little. I made inquiries and misspoke and offended everyone in the general vicinity, and they all kind of shut up and said, "Yeah, good luck with that."
Right. Yes. Okay. Well, if you wanted to secure a Surrey to take you out to the estate, you could pay 4 shillings for him to take you out there. If you want a return trip, of course, it would be 8 shillings. Or you could rent the carriage itself for a £20 deposit, and then you basically be charged £1 per day, but it's a £20 deposit. So
since we don't know how long we're going to be out there, I think probably renting would be the better way of doing it. Also, because it would stink to have to get a ride out there and then have the guy leave us out there.
Yeah, they're not looking at us very favorably, so I don't think that would be something I would want to do.
Right.
Agreed.
well, this could be the same gentleman who drove you out from Abershonen.
Ah.
So he's not local to Partridge, but which would probably work in your favor. Because I'm assuming like he drove you out there. He probably stayed in Partridge for the night himself before heading back the next day. Why not? Because it suits the story. We'll say he did stay the night, so he could decided he wanted to get a little drunk that night. And
Oh, great.
so
he's
yeah,
hung
so
over.
if you approach him, like he will make the offer. He said, well, you can hire my services for £1 a day. Requires a £20 deposit, I'm afraid. But then I'm your man
So
until you no longer need me, or until 20 days pass, in which case then you have to pay me again.
yeah, sure. That sounds good to me. Up to my traveling companion. of
Oh,
course.
yes, absolutely.
Very well. Do you have £20?
Sure.
I don't remember what your credit ratings were at and all that, but
I will check real quick.
I think you were a wealthy man, weren't you, Carmichael?
Yeah.
Correct.
And Mrs. Morrow wasn't doing too bad for herself either. Yeah, you can afford it.
40, yeah.
40 is pretty good. That's the upper end, I think, of
Yeah.
middle
Middle
class,
class.
isn't it? Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep. Yeah, you guys can definitely.
Yeah, he's
afford-
got a 50 as a
Yep.
credit rating.
Cool.
Put it on the expense account.
Indeed.
Yeah, well, exactly. You can charge this all to Nathan.
Bully.
Yep. All right. So you hired the Surrey driver. Hell, if you want, then too, since you're paying him, you could even send him to Abershonen on Saturday to pick up your friends from the train station.
That
Ooh.
would be great.
Indeed.
Cool. Okay, so you want to take the the carriage out to So it's a front and rear seated Surrey. I wonder how big these are. Probably plenty. It's a 2-horse carriage, anyways. It's pretty good size. So, let me pull up the map again too of the area. There we go. So, just you can see you're currently in Partridge there at just south of the Black Mountains on the kind of eastern side of the map there. And so Partridge is nestled here in the valley of the Greena Vahan. It's the name of that river that runs down out of the mountains. But you don't know where the estate is, so you're going to have to ask for directions.
That was the hope that he would know where it was. But yes, tell you what,
The driver certainly doesn't know where it is.
Why don't we have the driver ask other drivers, and they would be able to speak a different language?
Well, that's the problem. This is a small village of 400 people. There aren't any other drivers.
Well, we're just trying to find someone who is not us.
Yeah, we're snooty foreigners, and he's more of a commoner type of worker guy. So
sure, you want him to ask.
Yes.
Let me just see here.
I would assume start at the stables. That would be where I would assume.
No, you'll ask the
bartender.
The bartender, yeah.
He gets out a lot.
And so, yeah, Jenkins will tell you it's 4 miles northeast on the old trek. Yep. And when they ask the driver why he wants to know about the Hardwicke estate, he'll just say, "Oh well, my current employers wish to see it, so we'll be heading out there this morning." And that's it. So yeah, he's got the directions. He'll come back outside. Say, "Yep, no problem. It's 4 miles northwest of here."
Excellent.
And he will start to drive you out that way. Now, give me spot hidden rolls. Both of you, give me one each.
All right.
Fantastic.
46.
I got a wasted, glorious roll of a 6 on a spot hidden.
Good.
I did not make mine.
Okay, well, you do make yours, however, Ruben. So you will notice as you're riding out, you'll glimpse the collapsed, wildly overgrown remains of 3 long abandoned farmhouses, which are marked there A, B, and C on the map. Abandoned, ruined farms. You mentioned those in the last session, Jennifer, but I told you not to worry about that.
We hadn't seen them yet. Yep.
They're not actually on a map, but yeah, excuse me.
Well, that would make sense.
So you'll notice them as you're driving out.
It would make sense that there would be farms for the estate anyway, because the estate would need tending and growing and such. So,
but yeah, they're obviously long abandoned, and the manor house itself, which is marked also, you'll see on the map, the Hardwicke estate, lies in an isolated wooded section of the hills that makes up the kind of lower reaches of the Black Mountains. You will see a manor house, a well, carriage house, stable, and 2 small sheds, all of which are in disrepair. The surrounding area is overgrown with wildflowers and tall weeds. And since you're here, there's the Hardwicke estate.
Nice.
Ooh.
Very estatey. All right.
Indeed.
Well, yes.
I'm all about the shed.
You're in London. Quiet, you.
The eye is drawn to the word.
Oh, I know.
There are 2 sheds.
There are 2 sheds.
Let's go to the carriage house first.
All right.
To leave the man with the carriage, and then we'll deviate from there, maybe. Unless we have another choice. You'd like to come in a covert sort of direction.
Well, if you drive out to the carriage house, it's empty, save for thick cobwebs and stiff rusted riding harnesses, some rusty tools, and a wooden carriage wheel. There are rotting scraps of rope hanging from the exposed rafters overhead. The building is large enough to hold a good-sized wagon or coach, but the roof is kind of weak and sagging.
All right.
What was the driver's name, by the way? I'm sorry.
I did not give him a name. Let's call him Thomas, sir.
Thomas.
Thomas. No, Thomas. I don't know if you'd even bother giving you a last name. It's Thomas.
Thomas, sir.
Thomas, we're going to be exploring the immediate grounds. Would you care to join us, or would you rather stay with your coach?
I'll stay here with the carriage, sir, if it's okay with you.
Of course.
Absolutely,
I'll
sir.
tend to the horses. I'll feed them and give them a little looking after.
Lovely.
Sounds appropriate. Very good, sir. Lady, your choice.
I don't know. There's I guess the building that's, I mean, I don't know what's north and south here, but the one that's further up to the right.
The stables.
Yes.
Yes. May we take a quick look at the well in process?
Yes.
Going to take a look at the well, see what the condition of the well is.
Okay. So, 1 second here. Walking over to the well, just looking for my notes. Here we go. The well. So it's stone-walled well. It looks to be very deep. Would you even be? Well, I guess yeah. It's an early day. You get a decent amount of light. Well, is the weather? How's the weather? Yeah, we'll say the weather's clear enough at the moment. So yeah, it's very deep. Looks to be about 35 feet down, you would guess, to the surface of water below. The water looks to be clear, but the rope and bucket are missing.
All right.
Well, Thomas is still within range. Thomas, do you think perhaps you could check to see if you can secure a bucket and rope and check the condition of the water for the horses?
A bucket and rope, sir. I'm afraid I did not bring one.
Perhaps in the carriage house or the stables.
I do not see one here, but I can check the stables, sir.
We're headed that way. I will let you know if we find anything.
If we see one, we'll let you know.
Okay. So you guys going over to the stable?
Yes.
There are stalls for 8 horses, but are all empty, save for cobwebs and decayed hay. Hanging from wall pegs, there are a few tools, coils of rotting twine and rope, and an oil lamp. There's a ladder leading to the hayloft above. And the roof here also kind of sags and gapes with holes.
I'm afraid I didn't wear my climbing shoes.
Right.
So if you'd like to check that out, you're welcome to.
I will definitely do so. Guard my 6, and he'll go up.
Okay, you're climbing up to the hayloft. Give me a luck roll.
37, and his luck is, survey says, a 57. So he made it.
Okay, yep, you managed to get up there. You notice that the boards in the loft are quite weak, so you have to step with a lot of care. Be very careful not to fall through. But all you see up here is decaying hay.
Interesting.
What's interesting?
There's decaying hay.
Yes. Almost as if no one had been here in quite some time.
Right? I'm just going to just do a quick survey for evidence of vermin, some sort of animal activity.
I imagine there might be some. Why?
Oh,
Are you looking for in particular?
Well, you know, when you're in an area and there's no bird sounds and no animal tracks, that sort of thing.
Oh, no. There's plenty of rat sign and such.
Okay. That's fine. Very good. So I'll head back down.
And no bucket.
And no bucket.
Sad.
No bucket. And only rotten rope.
Well, let's try the shed. See what's in the shed.
The shed on
Which
the other
shed?
side?
The one right by the stables?
Yes.
Correct, Amundo.
Okay. So yeah, the door is ajar. And
We could
Walk
use a
up
jar.
and look inside. There are many rusty tools on a long workbench: hammers, mallets, saws, nails, wrenches. There's an anvil, an axe, things of that sort, etc.
Axe might come in handy.
Probably a shovel.
Yes, he's going to carry the axe with him. That
It's a
could come in
rusty
handy.
axe, but yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
nonetheless. But no bucket.
It's for chopping wood. Wood chopping axe.
No bucket?
No bucket, no rope.
Okay.
Anything perhaps in the way of a small barrel?
No, there's a large barrel. It's very a lot of the wood is kind of rotten out of it though, and the what do you call the iron bars or whatever they represent?
The bands.
The bands are kind of rusty, and it's in really poor shape.
All right. Well, hopefully there's something we can use as a basin within the
large barrel, and it's about 1/3 full of nails, which are also rusty.
Well, maybe we can find something to act as a basin in the kitchen area of the house. Shall we
walk into this man's house?
We'll walk.
Wow. Okay. So where are you going next? a little trespassing, breaking and entering, perhaps?
We're already trespassing.
True.
We were given permission to be here.
I don't remember giving you permission to go into his house.
He's dead.
No, this is Nathan's house now.
Now it is, yes. Do we want to check that other shed before going into the house?
The other
It's
shed?
up to you, madam.
Shed.
Let's go ahead and check that last one before going.
So on the other side of the house,
yes.
The other shed has a very badly sagging roof, and the door is closed.
Okay. I guess I will open the door.
Okay. You open the door. Give me a luck roll.
Yep. Already had the dice in my hand. You
did not say you were opening the door carefully.
That's correct. No, I did not make it.
Okay. So as you open the door, the roof collapses.
Oh
no.
Not on you. You managed.
Right.
Yeah, I was going to say, Ruben was
opening the door causes the roof to collapse.
Sad.
Inside, amongst the rubble of the roof, you see several dozen jars, many of which are now broken. Some large rotted cloth sacks, more scraps of rope and twine, an empty barrel, and a few ancient and unidentifiable small animal hides.
Madam, what did that shed ever do to you?
I'm so sorry. I'm terribly clumsy.
He'll root through the immediate areas and see if he can find a bucket or a jar with a handle.
No.
What about the there were some bags, I think you said?
Yeah, rotted cloth sacks.
Okay, just like picking up a stick or something and just sort of like poking them to see if there's anything in them or...
No.
Moving on to the house.
All right.
Okay. You go on to the house. No problem.
We're assuming we're going to go into the rear entrance since that's the closest we are. Is the kitchen on that side, perhaps?
You know what I should have done? Give me 1 second here. I wasn't really expecting you to go walking into the guy's house without him here. So 1 second. I need to do a quick little photo thing. Print screen, pull up paint.
As long as it's not some old lady with shears.
No, there's no old ladies with shears. Don't worry, John. Okay, so let's go.
Still traumatized.
Yeah, obviously. Big baby. Yeah, big baby. Or chandeliers made out of little girls.
Yay.
That was another game.
Perhaps Arthur's missing mother is upstairs in a rocking chair.
These are a few of my favorite things.
Psycho, was it? No, that was Friday the 13th. Yeah, both maybe.
Psycho, yeah, particularly, yeah.
What am I doing? No, don't open. Don't open. Save. Menu, save. Thank you. Image. This is going into the Plant Daear folder.
You're building the tension around this image.
No, it's just a floor plan of the house. Sorry.
Or is it?
Dun dun dun.
Is it? Yes. Okay, there. I have now done
I'm
that.
disappointed in both the shed situations, though. I was really.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I was really very concerned about your opinion of the sheds.
Well, who knows though? You know, we haven't got to the bottom of them, I would imagine.
Okay, now I'm running out of scenes, so I will just put it. I'll just layer it over top of this one. Into the right folder. Scenarios, Plant Daear. Where it's alphabetical order. There we go. And drag and drop. Boom.
Hello.
Oh, nice.
Very nice.
And we can make it bigger.
That's what she said.
Yeah. There you go.
You guys.
There you go. Now.
Can you make it a little smaller so I can, because the very bottom of it is obscured by all the
Yes, I can.
lovely pictures of the
Thank you for mentioning that.
characters' faces.
Good idea. Ah, come on, stop grabbing the wrong image.
Although it doesn't really matter.
I can. I'm just waiting for it to
There
work.
we go.
Is that enough?
That's
Yes,
great.
perfect.
Okay. Whatever.
So are we coming in from the library study side?
So, yeah, the ground floor is where the library and study is. Now, as far as doors go, there is a door. Okay, so back to the Hardwicke estate map.
Yeah, it looks like we could get a library, study, or kitchen would be the options.
I just want to say how lucky it is that there's so many windows in that house. That I mean, that's really good. Good
There are
problem.
a lot of windows, yes. So
that is
you can
typical
see
of
by the
houses.
map that the
Mhm.
library study side is that backside there with the little, the little protrusion, I guess,
Yep.
if you will. Whereas the other side, there's another door on the other side, which that's the back of the house, obviously, where the clearing is and where the library study entrance is.
Mhm.
And then the other side is the front entrance. So, which
Lady, which way do you prefer?
This-
Up the front or in the back?
The back is closer.
The back it is then.
who is going in first?
Well, a gentleman always goes first in a dangerous situation.
So
Good.
the back it was, yeah?
Correct.
Okay. So you go up to open the door. The door is locked.
Mm.
Mm.
You will do the appropriate thing and knock.
Okay.
I don't think anyone's home.
I realize this. It's my manners.
I understand.
What's the condition? Is it based upon the condition of everything else? Is it like rotting and falling apart?
No, the house is in the main estate house itself is in better shape than the outbuildings.
How are the windows doing?
Let's see here.
I think one of them's about to be broken.
It doesn't make any mention here about the doors and windows, but I would say they're all in working order. They're all right.
Yeah, I don't want to be destroying property without warrant. Shall
wait,
we check another door or try
Yes.
to jimmy this one?
I am no good at all with locks, so unless you were going to try and force it open, we should probably try another door.
Yep, here you go. The manor house itself is 2 stories, appears structurally sound. None of the windows are broken. There you go.
Well, madam, not saying that I have experience with picking locks, but I have experience picking locks. And he's going to pick the lock.
Excellent.
He's going to pick the lock. I read it in a book once.
Okay, well, that is a mechanical repair roll. Do you have...
I
Or
actually
locksmith.
have locksmith.
Oh, you have locksmithing. Sorry, I forgot about that in this game. Locksmithing, of course. Do you have locksmithing tools?
It's actually quite high.
have-
Well, it is based upon that. Those are 2 of his highest skills was cane, sword, and locksmith on purpose.
Sure.
I would
Go for
have
it.
assumed.
No penalty dice in.
a single tool, if not a kit?
Go ahead and
Okay.
roll.
All right, stand by.
You can roll as per normal. No penalty dice.
Standing by.
Yeah. Stand by.
Red leader standing by.
All right. Well,
Get on with it already so I can get back to the line.
a 32.
A 32. What is your skill?
It is a success, and
Yeah,
I'm seeing how much of a
Good
success.
enough. Success is fine.
Yeah, it's actually I 2 away from a hard success.
Okay, so you open the back door of the estate,
Splendid.
which leads in there, as you can see, by the library and study, and also a set of stairs which lead up to the second floor.
As we enter, going to, of course, observe the dust layer. What kind of dust layer are we looking at on the floor?
So, there are still a few cobwebs and some dust inside, although the worst seems to have been cleaned up recently. The house itself is only sparsely furnished, and the furnishings that do remain are draped in sheets, giving the place the appearance of being haunted by large, squat ghosts.
Well, lady, it does appear that a key point of your experience is at hand with the library here. Would you care to take a quick look as I look
Here at
about
the,
the area?
Here at the back of the house, you have the stairs leading up to the first floor. And in the hall here, there is a stack of recently cut firewood.
Good.
Nearby, obviously right beside you pretty much, is the, lost my spot, is a large study, which if you just peek in the door, you can see there are a few bookshelves that stand half empty, and some of their former contents are lying in boxes on the floor. The room itself is furnished with 3 stuffed chairs, a pair of tables, and a wooden desk and chair. There's an oil lamp sitting on the desk, and near it, a sheet of paper.
Okay, so first going to look at the sheet of paper.
Okay, so you walk on in.
Yep.
The sheet of paper has an address on Eagle Street of a Howard Jones and another address for an Adrian Powers.
Okay.
The lawyer.
Mhm.
Yep.
Okay, very good. So we're on
There are
track.
also other unused writing materials otherwise on the desk. That's it. And there's a few more pieces of firewood and a set of pokers stacked near the fireplace.
Okay.
One would assume that the best items would go first. So would you like to check the boxes just to see what the type of library he maintained beforehand?
Yes, I can do that. I am also specifically looking for a family Bible if there is one.
Indeed, it should have its own little spot, right?
Yeah,
One would
yeah,
think.
they would have a family Bible, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
While she checks out the book,
Oh,
he's
wait,
going to step
would they have
out.
a family Bible here? Maybe not. You'll find a
You would-
Bible anyway. Yeah.
Okay, because I'm specifically looking for
Yeah, I would,
the
I
family
would think they
Bible.
would have the big family Bible would be there, wouldn't you think, on its own little pedestal?
Why would it be here in their estate in Wales? It hasn't been used in 20 years.
Well,
Fair enough.
okay,
If
there's
it was here, it
that-
would be here.
Yeah.
I got it.
Nope, there's just a normal Bible.
okay, because I was looking for genealogical records.
I understand, yeah. That's very crafty. I appreciate that. It's smart thinking, but it's not here.
Sad.
If you're looking through the other volumes,
Mhm.
nothing really significant. You just find books on poetry, history, Gothic novels,
Okay, nothing,
Shit like
no
that.
particular subjects that they seem to have a particular large library of. It's
No.
just like what a nice upper class family would have
Yeah.
in their library.
Yep.
Okay.
Nothing stands out as being significant in any way.
Okay.
Other than the fact that obviously they are a literate family who
Mhm.
read about a variety of different subjects, including Gothic fiction and
Mhm.
poetry and
Fair enough. Shall we continue?
Certainly.
How's the visibility? Are we good with all the windows?
yeah. Like I said, it's a pretty decent day right now, so there's a good amount of light coming in.
What say we go open the front door and let a breeze come through and take some of the stagnant air out?
Oh, that would be lovely.
Sure.
Yes.
Front door is locked, but you can easily unlock it from the side.
Okay, we'll go out the front door, see if Thomas is in view.
Well, you go out the front door. Yes, you can see the carriage house just past the well, and you see Thomas over there. Indeed.
Ho!
He
give him a big
waves.
wave. Okay, so we're going to go back in. And lady, your choice. Left, right, or up?
Left.
Left it is.
Left. That's counterclockwise. No, that's clockwise. So is to the left.
So I'm like towards servants' quarters, right?
Yeah, I'm just trying because it's backwards from the way it's written in the. Okay, so there is. Well, basically, anyway, you've got the sitting room. Is that on the? No, that's on the other side. So sitting room's on the other side. So, oh yeah, the south wing of the house. Here we go. Yeah, you've got old servants' quarters containing an uncovered and unmade bed. There's a pair of dressers and an oil lamp. The kitchen nearby contains a few basic cooking and eating utensils, but no food. The pantry is also empty of anything edible. There's some moldy, rancid, or spoiled food left behind. A door off of the kitchen opens onto a set of stairs to the little 15-foot square cellar where perishable foods were once stored, but again, nothing edible remains. And there's a large storage closet right there, which was right the first thing you saw near the front door, which contains a broom, an umbrella, a pair of battered and muddy leather boots, an oil lamp, and a pair of heavy moth-eaten cloaks.
In amongst the kitchen, the pantry, the servant quarters, and the storage closet, is there anything we can use to secure water from the well?
Probably some pots.
Whatever it may be.
Yep, now all you need is a rope.
Hopefully there's something more ropish related. Have they got a dumbwaiter in this house?
No.
Fair enough.
I haven't seen one. Nope. Not you've seen. Well, you want to go check the other wing of the house? Maybe there's something in the dining room area?
Absolutely.
Aye, aye.
Yeah. So the first room on the ground floor to the right, to the counterclockwise of the front door, is the dining room, in which the only furniture you see there are a pair of candelabras sitting atop a large dining table and a half-dozen high-backed wooden chairs. Next door to this is the sitting room, which contains 2 stuffed chairs and an end table. And at the end of the hall is a water closet of later construction than the rest of the house, but currently not functioning.
Okay.
No ropes. No dumbwaiter.
Shall we check the upstairs?
Did we check the storage closet?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
we did.
Okay. All right, then upstairs.
Okay, up to the first floor.
Mhm.
So you take the stairs up. So the master bedroom is located directly above the study. Contains a large canopied bed, a pair of dressers, a dressing screen, a table and chair. Give me a spot hidden roll.
I failed this one.
Okay.
Probably failed. Yeah, failed.
The next room is a large bathroom, complete with a claw-footed tub, a water closet, and a mirror and wash basin. Down the hall, then, there's a large storage room filled with boxes of Hardwicke family memorabilia, particularly old clothes, papers, and trinkets, none of which really stand out as anything of particular value to you. Nothing like bearing family history or anything of that sort. No written out family trees. There is, however, an empty oil lamp here. And then there are 3 identical guest rooms also on this floor. Each one contains a bed, a dresser, and a table and chair. Between 2 of these guest rooms is a sitting room outfitted with 4 stuffed chairs and 2 end tables. And at the end of the hall is a linen closet containing a broom and a few extra bedclothes.
What about storage?
That's it.
That's it? Okay.
Now, would these be?
I mean, I do see the storage there, but it must be empty.
Would these be high windows, large windows with like draperies and such?
You know, it's only April. It's not that hot out. The horses can probably make it back to town. I'm just saying.
I'm just irritated by this lack of ropes. Everyone needs ropes.
Nope.
Very well.
There are no ropes here currently.
Moving on.
Fair enough. What do you want to do now?
Well, we've checked out the house. There doesn't seem to be anything out of place.
No.
They were preparing to pack up and leave,
Oh,
or at
yeah, you
least
can
get
see
some of the valuables back.
it looks like Albert was starting to clean the place up a bit. Yeah.
Can you pull up the outside map again?
Yes, I can. I just have to do that.
Well, specifically, I'm looking to see if there's a family cemetery type plot.
There is none. You see.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
interesting. You would think there would be too.
You can see the track there, which leads back to Parter Show.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right. Well, I'm out of ideas.
I also am flummoxed by the lack of ropes and out of ideas of myself.
Well, you know they would have ropes and buckets in Parter Show.
Of
Yeah.
course.
It would be of no consequence to buy one or
Exactly. It's
whatever.
Indeed.
it was just
They've
frustrating.
already checked the cellar. There's nothing down there.
Very good.
I see.
Okay. Well,
In the basement.
it appears that this is not a key point of mystery, but yet just an old house.
Very well. Back to town then.
Back to town.
Okay. As I would like you both to make power rolls, please.
Oh
and
my
you need
God.
an extreme success.
Wow.
Extreme success. Okay.
I got a 4.
Powered 65.
I don't know what my power roll is, but I'm hoping
I
that
made it.
is a success.
You both
And
got extreme successes? Nice.
no, I got okay, so I got 1 point off of a hard success.
Yeah, you probably don't want to waste the luck.
Yeah.
I got a 4, and my lowest number was a
Damn.
9. I actually did something useful.
Their lowest
Oh.
number's a 9. Oh, you mean you needed a 9 to...
Yes, sir. 45, 22, 9.
Nice. Yep. Good. So you got a hard or extreme success.
Mhm.
So as you help Mrs. Morrow onto the carriage, and just before you climb aboard yourself, Reuben, you get a really eerie feeling. The hair kind of stands up at the back of your neck, and you feel like you're being watched.
Knowing that the horses are much more sensitive to such weirdness, do they react?
No.
Reuben, are you all right?
I feel as if someone walked over my grave.
Well, that's dreadful.
Indeed. Give me a moment.
Give me a sanity roll.
Oh, Jesus, Joey. Here we go.
Just him?
Oh,
Yeah, just him.
a 64.
Uh-uh.
Oof. That is not a success.
So you lose 1 sanity.
Oh, okay. I accept
It's
it.
just a bit unnerving.
Okay, very good.
It's a really intense feeling. Like you're not a military man, no?
No, sir.
Right. But you got to get an idea for the feeling like that I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
Like when
He did spend a lot of time doing some nefarious, underhanded stuff. So probably the not wanting to get caught feeling is coming about him.
Sure.
Yep.
Hey, we all have our starts in life. Okay. Well,
What do you think it was?
I am genuinely unsure. He's going to look to the skies. Is there perhaps something insidious like ravens or vultures or anything of that nature flooding about?
No, and give me a listen roll.
Both of us? Or just him?
Just him. Well, you can roll one too, but you're going to need an extreme success because you're not really actively.
I'm not really paying attention. Yeah.
You're not.
He
Trying.
got
Nope.
I got a 28, which I don't think is a extreme. Hold on.
No, it would be
You only
extreme for me.
need a normal success.
just
I
need to-
just made it by 2.
That's enough. It's gotten really quiet. Like the bird sounds and stuff seem to have disappeared now, and you notice a distinct lack of wildlife in the area for the moment. It wasn't like that, well, earlier before we went to the house anyway.
He will secure within reach his shotgun. Thomas, perhaps we should leave.
Yes, sir. Back to the village.
Aye, aye.
All right. and he will drive you back to the village. Now, back to London. Gentlemen, on the morning of Wednesday, it's still 3 more days, including Wednesday, basically, before you will depart. What would you like to do in the morning?
Von Zorn wants to interrogate the housekeeper.
Well, I wouldn't use the word interrogate. I'm not going to fire for free and beat her.
I used the word interrogate. Yeah, you can call it what you want, but
it rhymes with investigate.
That's right.
Sharing some strudel
and defenestrate. And also, I think we should be finding some way of getting the Chocho people to tell us what they know about the hieroglyphs. So I'm wondering whether Gerard is known to be an associate of Hudson and Brand, and if he isn't, then maybe he would be able to, given his experience, interacting with all manner of people all around the world, maybe he would be able to talk to a Chocho.
Yes, Gerard has not been in any of our records or anything like that. So unless someone was watching the offices, no one should have seen him come in or out.
Yeah, that's my thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go speak to the housekeeper. And,
right, I got it. You're going to head out to...
And I have my packing list that I posted up there too. So
you're going to head out to the Hardwicke estate in, was it Kensington, I think?
Yes, I believe.
Mm-hmm. What do you think, Gerard? Are you happy to go try and track down some Chocho in some of the seedier neighborhoods of London to try to get them to decipher this text?
Sure, sounds like fun.
Good.
Maybe Reynard could point us in the right direction, even if he doesn't show his face.
Of course he could. He knows where to go. He just doesn't want to go there himself right now.
Yep.
Right. He can give me some heads up on what to look out for, etc.
Absolutely. Okay. So, I should probably pick a neighborhood. I don't know off the top of my head, but very dodgy neighborhood. It's full of pretty much mostly Asian immigrants in this particular neighborhood. And Stanton even knows a few names of people perhaps to ask around for. So I'm sure. Well, Stanton, would you provide that information to Gerard?
Yes, he would.
Okay, just to give you the opportunity in case you wanted to not say anything, or if you wanted to maybe give some false information and just see what happens. Whatever. Great. So, but otherwise, he's going in by himself. Yes.
Yes, like I said, Stanton will remain at a safe distance from the outside. If he hears anything get too hairy, he'll step in.
So Gerard, give me a power roll. You are still muted, Gerard. Just
out of a D100, I rolled a 7.
a 7. Very nice. I assume that's a major success on your power. Probably an extreme success, unless you have less than 35 power, which I doubt. So, you get a really uneasy feeling. Obviously, you stand out here, and you just get the feeling everybody is watching you. They're all speaking in various different Asian tongues and dialects. Do you speak any of those languages yourself?
Probably not.
No.
I was going to look in on the notes that were made from the book that we received, did it have something to do with this language?
No, it was just written in Tibetan.
Okay.
Yeah.
So no, I have no. Yeah, no.
Okay, no problem. So you don't know what they're saying, but you get the strong feeling like a lot of them are just talking about you, and they're all like everybody's staring at you. You get quite a few of the little kids that will come up to you and start begging for money in broken English.
Okay. Well, I'm assuming they probably wore some plain clothes, not too fancy.
Yeah, no,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Maybe take a couple of lower coins and give them, a couple of that.
Yeah, some pennies or whatever.
Yes.
I think they're called pennies. Yeah. So yeah, you can distribute. They look kind of disappointed, but they take it and they go off. And yeah, what would you like to do?
So he pointed me in the right direction, basically.
Yeah, he gave you a couple of names to ask around for.
Okay. Is there anybody that looks like they're a street seller or something along those lines that I could talk to that may know English on top of their own language?
Yeah, you see a guy who's pushing a cart that smells of fish. Not the freshest fish either, but
Yeah, I'll go up to them and tell them good day. I'm looking for somebody that I believe lives in this neighborhood.
well, you found somebody who lives in this neighborhood. It's a lucky day for you.
So how's your fish today?
The freshest. You want by?
What kind of fish do you have today?
He pulls up the little kind of like a cloth that's covering, and yeah, it's really, really strong smell. I'm not very familiar with what fish you could pull out of the Thames in London, but they're not the nicest. They're pretty rank.
What's the guy's name that I'm supposed to be looking for again?
Oh, I don't know.
Say I tell him.
Let's say, hold on. Actually, I can pull up a name here. I can definitely pull up a name, I think. Give me 2 seconds. I gotta pull up my Google Drive. Cthulhu, Hudson and Brand. And 1 second. Oh, we need to go quite a ways down. Forgot how big this document is now. Namdak Yu Ying.
Okay.
Would they give you that name? No, maybe not. The name you would be given would be No.
Okay.
Yeah, No.
All right. So I'll look through his fish and let him name off some of the fish that he has, and then I'll say, I think I'm particularly interested in No. I'm trying to give him a wink.
No fish?
I'm kind of interested, like I said, in No.
No.
Mm-hmm.
He looks around. He kind of leans closer and whispers, "You're looking for No nonsense Namdak?"
Yes, sir.
Why do you want him?
I need to talk to him about some information I'm interested in giving him. He may be interested in what I have to say.
Information? Well, what you ask is not easy. It's not cheap.
How much is your most expensive fish you have here today?
5 crowns.
5 crowns.
That's a lot of
What
money.
is it?
It's a lot of money.
Is that a kingfish or what, sir?
It's a no-nonsense fish.
Ah,
He puts the cloth back over the fish on the cart and holds out a hand.
okay. What's like the half? What's half of the what he's asking for? What would that be?
About 2.5 crowns. I don't know if there is a half crown. I
Yeah.
have to go back to my notes and see.
Something. Say 3 then, maybe.
If I look at the finances information, so a crown is 5 shillings. So 5 crowns is it's not as much as I thought. It's 5 crowns would be 25 shillings. That's just a little over a pound.
Oh,
That's still considered an amount of money.
okay. How about I give him a little over half of it?
Oh, there is a half crown. There's a half crown bill.
Okay. So I have it in my hand and I shake his hand with it and see what he responds.
He looks and says, yes, it's half of the money. So I can give you half of what you look for, yes?
Half of what I look for is not going to accomplish anything. I'm sorry.
Yes. Well, I need more money then. No nonsense is very dangerous. Dangerous is expensive.
Okay, so I put the other half in his other hand.
Ah, okay. Very good. You wait here with cart. Don't sell. If anyone asks you, say they wait for me.
Sure.
I'll be right back. He takes off. And give me a spot hidden roll.
Like what now?
A spot hidden roll.
Okay. Give me a second. Get my dice roller up. I rolled a 41 out of, what did I look at my spot hidden?
Yeah, there should be in alphabetical order. Your skills.
Okay. Okay, spot hidden was 51.
And you rolled a 41. Good. So you see, he runs off at the ground. You manage to keep eyes on him for a while until he goes around into an alleyway and disappears from sight. A lot of people around. You feel very exposed. You feel like even more people are watching you now. But the whispers seem to have stopped.
Okay.
Let's see, what time was it when you got here? It was late morning. Yeah. 10 minutes pass. 20 minutes pass. 30 minutes pass. 40 minutes pass. 50 minutes pass. A lot more kids coming up to you begging for money.
Give me a couple of pennies, that's about it.
Mm-hmm. An hour passes.
Well,
And give me a spot hidden roll.
okay. 37.
Nice. And then you see the fish seller come back out of the same alleyway that he disappeared into earlier, and he starts working his way through the crowd back over to you. And he comes back and says, "Oh, you're still here. You're a very patient man.
Of course.
I found what you're looking for."
Good.
He said to give you this. He pulls a little piece of paper out of the inside of his shirt and hands it over to you. It's got an address on it. In another neighborhood, pretty shady dock neighborhood on the river. And it says 9 p.m.
Okay. So I tell him, thank you very much. Good luck with your fish selling today.
How many did you take?
Oh, I didn't take any.
My fish, how many did you take?
0.
In English, you always try to steal from my people.
I think your people are hungry for their fish because they've been mulling around here quite heavily since you've been gone. So I predict you're gonna have a good day on selling the fish.
He pulls the cloth back and starts counting his fish. He looks at you suspiciously and he says, yes, you have good day too. Be very careful.
I shall, thank you. So I'll carefully walk away with my back and make my way out of the neighborhood enough to meet up with my...
Give me a luck roll.
Okay. Oops.
How'd you make out on that?
56.
56? What's your luck?
I'm going to look that up right now on my character sheet.
It should be, I think, right underneath hit points.
Okay.
Kind of left center. Well, center, left side center, yeah, of the character sheet, roughly. I think.
Oh, yes, okay. But how do you determine what your luck is?
Oh, do you not have it written on there?
I thought I did the last time we played, but I don't see it now. Okay, let me check something out. Oh, yes, it's on the other sheet that I wrote things on.
Okay.
Okay, I got it now. Let's see. It is. Come on. Wrong direction. Okay, sorry about that. 60.
56 under 60? Okay, cool. Yep, you leave the neighborhood, watching nervously, constantly the way out. But you make it out, no problem. And you can, it's approaching lunchtime. So you can get a cab back to 33 Golden Square. You've got over 9 hours before your meeting. And the meeting is going to take place in, I think, we'll say kind of Limehouse area. But yeah, you've got a lot of time, so you can go back to 33 Golden Square. Was anybody else doing anything while he was on his little adventure into Chinatown?
I was going to meet the housekeeper.
And I was intending to go too.
That's right. And you were going with him.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Renard? What would you have been up to?
Renard would have been scoping the area, making sure that the young intrepid man didn't get eaten alive.
Making sure Gerard got out. Yeah. Okay. Yep. So you probably meet him out once he gets out of the. I don't even think they probably don't have a neighborhood called Chinatown in London, but that's just the way I rationalize it in my head from my experience in American cities. But once he gets out of there, yeah, he can meet up with you and you guys get a taxi together. And he's whole. And you know what? You made your luck roll. Nobody even picked your pocket. So, aside from the 5 crowns that the fish seller took off of you, everything else is there. So, yeah, we'll cut over to the other gentleman. You drive out to. Walter's a driver in his own carriage, so you drive out to Kensington.
Right before I get there, though, I'm going to stop at a bakery and pick up some pastries.
Okay.
British.
It always comes back to cake with you.
Eventually, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Sure, yeah, you can get some pastries, no problem.
Okay, pastries and yeah, that'll be enough. Nice ones.
Sorry, that's Kensington. That must be another game. Sunderland Terrace, right? Yeah, it is. Oh. Yeah, Sunderland Terrace is in Kensington. Never mind.
I thought the last
Yeah. Sorry, I'm confusing myself and not reading the module correctly. Yep, Kensington, Sunderland Terrace. There we go. Yep.
Okay.
So yeah, you get out there, go up.
And what was the name of the housekeeper again?
That's a good question.
God, I had that somewhere. Mrs. Jeter.
Yep, that's right, Mrs. Jeter.
Jeter, like Derek. All right. I go up and ring the doorbell.
Okay. Yep. And she will answer the door within, less than a minute. Oh, welcome back, Mr. Van Zorn. Is there something I can do for you?
Hi, Mrs. Jeter. Mrs. Jeter, it is such a pleasure. I brought you something. And I give her the pastries. And I say, is the young Master Hardwicke at home?
No, he's in school.
Oh, shame. I was going to ask him some questions, but
these are lovely. Well, thank you. Would you like to come in for some tea?
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. Is it okay if my man Walter comes in with us?
Of course, of course.
Come on.
Are we going to call?
You met her before, right, Walter?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Oh, it's good to see you again, Mr. Bursey.
Yes. While we're here, is it okay if I ask you a few questions?
Oh, sure, of course. Let me just get the tea. Please have a seat.
Sure.
While she leaves the room, I'm going to turn to Von Zorn and say, "Is that how we're going to introduce me now, as your man?"
I think it would be appropriate, don't you?
Yeah, well, it feels inappropriate. Maybe where you're from, but
well, what would make you feel more comfortable on that?
I'll think about it while we're talking.
Well, then I'll call you my man until you think of something more appropriate.
That's fair enough.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. And she'll come back then a few minutes later then with a tray and a few teacups and sugar and milk, etc.
Cupcakes.
What were the pastries you brought?
Whatever is appropriate for the time. Nice ones though, very nice ones.
Yep. Brings those on a nice, but they're on a nice little doily on a nice little china plate now. Brings them in. So what can I do for you?
We were trying to tie up some loose ends on the investigation, and we had some questions. And did you know the young Master Hardwicke's parents very well?
Well, I see. How long is he? No, I'm afraid not. I've only worked for them for about 7 years. He was born well before then, and his mother, well, she died in the birth.
And they never talked about the father?
Oh, well, no, not really. But I got the feeling from Albert whenever it would come up that he must have been some scoundrel.
Well,
Albert didn't take well to anybody bringing him up or asking about him.
Well, we're looking at all possible things all possible suspects that
I do know, however, I overheard that his sister, Clarissa, Nathan's mother, she was never married.
Really?
So Nathan was born out of wedlock.
Yes, sir, that's correct.
But I can see why that was not something that the family wanted to draw attention to. And Clarissa died in childbirth.
Yes, that's what I was told.
And is it true that Albert's mother also died in childbirth?
Yes. I believe she died giving birth to his little sister, Clarissa.
The reason I asked is because, again, we're looking at all suspects and anyone who may have had something against the Colonel. And
Oh, you think it might have been Nathan's father?
Well, we are looking.
That's very juicy. It's like something out of one of the novels.
So, if you have any information or overheard anything, I will let you know that your confidentiality is safe with us.
Oh, of course. If there was anything I could do to help, I would be more than glad to. Albert was very good to me, and he left me a nice sizable sum of money in the inheritance, which he didn't have to do. I'm just a servant.
From my understanding, the Colonel was an excellent man.
Oh, the best, the absolute best.
And is there any way? Do you know of anyone who might know who was the young Master Hardwicke's father, or anyone? Family?
Well, yes, actually, Albert's best friend. He was here the other day, just after you. I think you spoke with Mr. Jones.
He would know?
He'd be the most likely to know. He was Albert's best friend.
Really?
The only one that he was particularly close with, I'm aware of, in the last 7 years that I've worked for him.
I look at Walter a little bit.
Yeah. Do you have reason to believe that he does know, or just that you think?
Oh no, I just think that if Albert would talk to anyone, it would be him.
Okay.
Interesting.
Sorry about the juicy. I couldn't think of a better word. So.
Right.
No, it's a good word.
I'm not very well informed with the Victorian terminology.
I'm sure
thanks
they
for the
were. I'm
information about,
sure a
Chinatown,
certain
too.
class of woman was using the word juicy in exactly that context.
Yeah, it's better than hot. It was so hot, you know. I think we have everything we need right now, don't we, Walter?
So I think so, but just before we leave, so it's true that the family have suffered a number of deaths, I guess, in the last decades. That Albert's brother, Brian, passed away 10 years ago.
Yes, I believe that's right. It was before I came into their service.
And his sister passed away precisely 10 years before that.
Yes, about 20 years ago, if my...
Based on Nathan's age,
Yes.
if she died in childbirth and Nathan is 20 years old.
Should have been 1870.
And now Albert himself passes away on the 10th anniversary of that
so
date.
You think Nathan's father is picking them off one by one every 10 years?
Well, I wouldn't say that seems far-fetched.
How very salacious.
Now that you put it like that, it does seem somewhat far-fetched, but it does seem like a family that has had its fair share of tragedy.
Indeed, too much tragedy.
Speaking of which, where was young Master Hardwicke born? Was it here in London?
I don't know. Albert never really spoke about that. He was very touchy about that subject.
Interesting. And you know,
Nathan himself knows.
And you know nothing of the Welsh estate that he has now bequeathed to Nathan.
No, other than the fact that Nathan was very kind of excited when he heard about it. He's planning to go out there, I think, this weekend to have a look and see. If he's going to sell it.
We intend to accompany him. But okay, so that estate
I never heard of it before. No,
it was kept secret then for quite a long time because presumably, for 10 years.
7 at least, sir. Yes.
That's a considerable period of time to keep something significant like that secret.
Well, Albert was a good soldier, and soldiers are very good at keeping their word. So perhaps if he had a reason, if he
had made a promise.
Exactly.
Interesting. And who would he have made a promise to? Sorry, Von Zorn.
How long have they lived here in Kensington? Do you know?
Oh, I don't know. Generations, I believe.
And you've been working for them for how long?
7 years, sir. I came on in 1883.
Oh.
Did you replace a housekeeper?
Oh, I'm sure. But I couldn't tell you who.
And the reasons for changing housekeeper were not made clear to you?
Oh, to be honest with you, I never would have thought to ask. I was quite happy to get the position.
Quite so.
They're taking good care of me.
Indeed. So I agree, Von Zorn. I think we may have got everything that we need.
Boom. And here I finally found it. Yes, Albert served briefly in South Africa. Then he was in Egypt and then the Sudan. So I nailed it earlier with my guess.
Well, that changes everything. That changes everything.
You didn't say Egypt.
Exactly.
Egypt is in North Africa. And I believe the Egyptian and Sudanese campaigns were,
contemporaneous.
Yeah, they were right to.
I have a feeling that Lovecraft had a problem with Egypt because everything seems to go to hell in Egypt.
Oh well, yeah, probably.
Curses, yeah.
Egypt is So okay, madam, thank you for your time, and let the young Master Hardwicke know that we will perhaps pay a visit to him later on tonight when he arrives from school.
Very well.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Thank you.
Good day. Good day. Oh, do you want the rest of your cakes? Do you want to take them with you?
Oh, no, they're for you, my good lady.
Oh, why, thank you very much.
I might just take one.
Okay. Please, please.
Thank you.
Okay. There you go.
Yep. So I asked Walter what it as on our way back. I asked any thoughts?
Well, I'm still interested in the deaths of the family and the weird kind of sequence of them. But and
Every
this
10 years for the last
for the last
20
3
years?
decades.
Yeah.
But yes, and the father of Nathan, I think there's a reasonable chance that he might emerge from the shadows and claim an inheritance from Nathan. So potentially, although the fact that the Colonel was so agitated about it seems like more than just that the child was born out of wedlock, that the identity of the father is somehow embarrassing or irritating to the family.
It could be embarrassment, or it could be something else. I mean, to be
Exactly.
honest, the line of question I started with about the father was just a inkling. I didn't think much of it, but now as I go more and more, that just seems to be interesting. I mean, I don't think it might be far-fetched to believe that the father killed the colonel, but I'm not really at this point. I'm not really willing to, dismiss it out of hand.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how Nathan's arrival in the Welsh countryside goes down with the locals.
Right. And also the Henry, he knows a lot more than he was telling us. And I think this proves it.
Well, proof is a strong word, but yes, a suggestion.
Well,
I think you meant Howard.
Howard Jones.
Howard, I'm sorry, Howard. Yes.
Mr. Van Zorn, you need to take better notes. You're terrible with names.
I am horrible. The problem is I keep getting this campaign mixed with my mass campaign.
I do that too because I'm running another Gaslight campaign side by side with this one, so I confuse
It's myself. A convenient excuse, though, isn't it? So many campaigns, so many names.
I suspect you're mixing up your medications.
Yes.
What makes it worse is that my campaign's in London too, but it's in 1925.
Right.
So I'm like,
let's take a bio break.
Okay.
So like 5 minutes, give or take. Again, as I've taken to doing now, I will turn off my camera like this. So anybody who's watching this currently or in the future, if you want to know when we've actually resumed the game again, well, I will turn my camera off again like so. So that's when you know that we're back in business. Okay, cool. So roughly 5 minutes. Some smoke if you got them.
Right.
Okay.
Cake.
By all means, if anybody wants to hang out and chat, do so as well. It's always nice to fill the dead air.
I am hanging out and chatting. Chat, chat, chat.
As am I. And we've been having our own little side conversation in the carriage over chat while you guys have been doing stuff in London. So
Indeed. Always a useful process when you have large groups.
Yep.
And even maintaining most of it in character. So there.
Indeed. Indeed.
So I guess Reuben would have never asked. But did she ever describe what happened to her husband?
She didn't.
Ah, well, he's not going to ask, so it'll stay unknown.
I should probably figure all that out at some point.
Yeah. But no, he wouldn't ask. I haven't decided what to do with Reuben. Actually, I very rarely ever take into account any sort of mundane sort of stuff like sexuality for characters. The rare one was the coachman on the one of Ian's games, where he was basically farm boy from Princess Bride, and he was just this big burly German Hessian. Jeez. And just a beautiful. He had like a 92 comeliness or something. Appearance. Yeah, he was just a big, gorgeous man, and young, super strong. And when it came to intelligence, he was super strong. Huh. It was like when they asked about my youngest daughter, she's in college now. She's doing well, but the joke was, well, she's in college now, and when it comes to smarts, she's a beautiful girl.
Damn.
She's doing much better. She's actually realized that she has potential beyond the looks, so she's grasping for straws and catching a few. But with that particular character, it ended up being there was vampires and young wenches aplenty, so there was a lot of shenanigans going back and forth with that one. So that one was one of the rare ones. I very rarely ever pursue it. So I was actually thinking a few minutes ago with Ruben why he's not married or has significant others. I'm not sure.
To be a widower.
No, I'm drawing a blank for him for any sort of relationships beyond his work, and I don't think he was fully vested into his work. So I think he just might be one of those chronic bachelors for one reason or another. Just
as long as he's not an incel.
love early.
You cut out for a while there.
Yeah, you did. What happened? Maybe he's still cut out.
I guess he is.
So expect him to drop from the call at any moment now.
Oh no.
Yep, there he goes.
Bye-bye.
Who did we lose?
Well, I wouldn't call it a loss. It was just Johnny.
Ouch.
Yeah, I know for mine, it's the weather. Keeps messing with my internet.
Did everybody get knocked off, or was it just me?
It was just you.
Just you. You're special.
I had an internet guy tell me that it's literally when it gets hot or cold, the cable connection to my house was expanding and contracting where the cable kind of joined the cable for my house. And that was what was causing loss of internet. That seems like...
That sounds like a really poor setup.
Besides being a retired chef, I was an electronics instructor while I was in the military for 21 years.
Okay. Lay it on me.
And that, which he just said, was utter and absolute blatherskite.
Blatherskite. Yeah, okay. You're going to have to...
Bullshit.
I'm going to look that up. Well, we are talking about the UK infrastructure here, so potentially a Victorian-sounding explanation may, in fact,
a connection. True. A connection is a connection. It's going to have a standard type of connector, and it's going to be a wrench-tightened connector. And what you can do to avoid any sort of thing like that is go to your local electrical type store, and they will sell a lubricant. It's a gel that is non-conductive, meaning that you can put it in any sort of connector and it won't affect any sort of currents.
I can think of some other shops you can buy those kind of lubricants in too.
Come on,
these are not the strawberry flavored types.
I was being really good listening then.
Anyway, you take the connector off and you put a small amount in there and you seal it back up. And what that will do, it'll take away any void air
That's
void.
what she said.
And if you have an air void, when you have a dramatic temperature change, air voids tend to draw in moisture. A wicking process? Yeah. Yeah, okay. Anyway, and the moisture can cause conductivity issues.
Come on, Jen. Jen, I'm trying to listen.
So the end result, the lesson learned is always use lube.
Okay. That's
No, seriously, you do that and you put a little bit of that in there and you tighten it down and it will eliminate all of your problems.
Fair enough.
Related to that connector.
Will Easy Glide work?
All of your problems.
Easy Glide, nothing, no lubrication that you would put on your genitals that a rational person would work because they break down under heat.
I do break down under
or
heat.
saliva.
Fair enough.
That's
Fair
true.
enough. All right. Well, that was exhilarating. That was salacious. So who are we waiting for? I think I heard.
I'm here.
Yeah, Jen's here. John's here. Seth's here. I think Sean is here too.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yep. So just Rob and
Joe.
Joe. I was say Von Zorn, but I forgot his real name.
Joe.
He is the character.
Joe.
I just walked in on that.
Yeah, we spent the whole break talking about you.
Oh, my ears were hot.
That wasn't the only thing that was hot.
I don't even want to know. I'm glad I didn't.
You really don't.
You really don't. Trust me.
I don't know. I thought it was quite instructive compared to the pre-stream political debate.
Well, yeah.
Fair enough.
I don't talk politics.
I'm just joking. Actually, it was like being a sort of anthropologist, really, parachuted into a strange kind of community. It was interesting.
Are you calling us Americans apes? That's what you're doing. You're calling us Americans apes.
Well, I wouldn't go that far. Maybe just, primitive.
Oh my God.
Well, Britain can't.
Keep it.
The UK
keep
can't
in mind
point
when you start
fingers.
throwing rocks for political stuff. I use bowling balls.
Yeah, just bang them together. But yeah, the UK, we used to be able to point and laugh across the sea,
Yeah,
but can't do
Not
that so much these
anymore.
days.
Yeah.
Yeah. Never mind.
Yeah.
Ever since it all got thatched up.
Oh, nobody watching except me.
Oh, okay. Just wait for Rob.
One person commented though.
I'm here.
Junebug.
All right.
Hey,
Yeah.
Junebug.
Oh, did they?
What did they say?
There's Merrick.
Great game
So
so
far.
far. Which implies it could go downhill
Yeah, every
immediately.
moment.
I'm still here. We're still here too, Junebug.
Excellent.
I was surprised that Ruben and Morrow didn't get killed. I'm actually
Yeah, no kidding.
Well, just wait. Okay.
I don't see see why that comment came up. She's the best boxer amongst us, and I've done the most damage with a gun. You've only relied on other people to distract them so you could conk people on the head.
Now we'll get back to business since everybody's back. So that was Wednesday morning into the afternoon. Was it Wednesday? Yeah, it was Wednesday, right? Yeah. Anything else you guys want to do in London before Mr. Bonham goes to meet with No Nonsense Namdak?
no. I'm just gonna gather the stuff I asked for, and that's it.
Gather the stuff you asked for.
He made a big list of.
Put it in the chat.
Oh, I'm not
interesting
reading the chat because
equipment.
that's been moving so fast. I don't have time to read all that while I'm trying to run the game.
He wanted that Gatling gun and a bunch of other stuff.
Gatling gun. Yeah,
And
no,
you
No,
just-
no. The guns are what we have already. The 12 bore Spencer, saber, leather fencing jacket we talked about earlier. The only
wow,
weird,
it's way back there. Okay.
the only weird thing is just the 1 pound of black powder and 1 pound of shot.
Yeah, would you be able to get that stuff? No problem. Okay, cool. Yep, no problem. Cool. Great. Yeah, and unless you tell me to read something specific in the chat, I probably won't because it moves so fast and I'm too busy running the game otherwise. So, okay. That night, and thanks for the information, Seth, on Chinatown in London. That's very good to know. And I'll just put it out here. So it says that the first area in London known as Chinatown was located in the Limehouse area of the East End of London. At the start of the 20th century, which is in our future, the Chinese population of London was concentrated in that area, setting up businesses which catered to the Chinese sailors who frequented Docklands. So it might not be called Chinatown at this time period that we're now, but it's nice to know that there basically was one. And it was in the Limehouse area, which is where your meeting is tonight, I said. So Gerard has his meeting. It's in a it's at an address at 9:00. Does anybody have any intentions of like going with him or anything, or just gonna send him out there on his own?
Well, I don't think we should spook them by, I don't think we should risk giving away his connection with Hudson and Bran, because that would ruin the whole thing.
Yeah, of course. It's a good point.
Despite what Jennifer says.
I know. Sorry.
But maybe we could stay, on the outside the Limehouse districts. So, within a few minutes running distance.
If I get into any trouble, I'll just play my fiddle really, really loud.
Good. Yeah, that would be a horrible squealy stringed instrument noise. We'll charge in.
I'll give him a brake whistle, and then it'll be fine.
Oh, job done.
Okay, 1 second. Keeper's version. Yes. Where's the player's version? Okay.
So I guess we'll accompany him to just north of the river, and then and tell him as much. Maybe Von Zorn and Renard can tell him as much about the Chocho as possible. Kind of prime him for the conversation he's about to have, so that he's as well prepared as we can manage.
Fair enough.
Whatever you do, do not mention the frog face. It's very important. Do not mention the frog face.
They get a little bit uptight about that, yeah? About the frog face, the physical attributes of their people. Well, that was only one, anyway. In fairness. I'm just actually pulling up a new map right now. So, Gerard, as for yourself, anything else in particular that you want to do while you're preparing yourself? Anything you want to bring with you? Like, do you want to bring any weapons with you? Are you bringing your violin with you, etc.?
I probably will leave the violin at home, even though I can carry my shotgun in there. But I do have the back knife, the boy that I keep in the back of under my jacket. So
Yeah.
I could behind and get that. I think that would be probably acceptable to them if they did find it. It's not too intimidating.
Right.
Probably leave most of my money at home. Don't want to take too much of that around either.
Sure. Fair enough. Don't want to get your pocket picked and lose all your money or anything of that sort.
So am I taking the statue itself, or?
No, you don't have the statue stuff. You only have the rubbing.
Okay, good. Okay, great.
Yeah. I think, they wouldn't, Howard Jones, remember, he locked it up in his desk again. He was definitely not very open to the idea of just handing it over to you.
Okay, great.
Okay, 1 second. I'm almost done preparing my map here. Things screwed up. of course. Yeah, that's good. No, yeah, close that. It's fine. I'm always screwing things up.
I do have a high level of charming if I need to try to charm somebody to help me, hopefully.
Mm-hmm. The address that you're going to for your meeting is a place called Mr. Fing Imports from the Orient. Okay. But of course, you're going there at 9 o'clock at night. It's well after normal business hours for any respectable shop. So you suspect there's probably more to it than just being an import store. I think that's fair. And now, that's all taken care of. Get that out of my way. Let's see, I'm running out of. I could really use an extra scene, but yeah, we'll just overlay it over this one. So I want to take this. There we go. Mm-hmm. And this. Yeah. There we go.
We must be doing something right if they made a lovely map of the place that we've ended up in.
This is a handly. This is not from. You may have noticed when you saw earlier the PDF that I'm running the adventure from is all in black and white. But this is something that's just a little extra thing that was thrown in with Hudson and Brand.
How often does Hudson or Brand go to an opium den?
Well,
all the time.
I believe if you read the case files, I think one of them did frequent an opium den, or at least went there one point in time. Didn't they, Jen? Weren't we just talking about this the other day?
Indeed.
Yeah. So, you go there to the address, and again, it's much quieter on the street now at night. There are still some shady characters around. You see some homeless people around, and some various other. It's pretty rough in this neighborhood at this time of night, and you find it a bit uneasy, much like you did earlier. Although it's much less crowded, which in a way maybe makes it even more uneasy because at least when there's a crowd around, there's lots of witnesses around. But as you approach Mr. Fing's imports, you knock on the door. A little old Asian woman will answer the door, and she'll say something to you in Chinese, and then she'll gesture you to come in, and she'll close and lock the door behind you. And she'll walk you around behind the counter, through the door, behind the counter, through her little office area there with all the boxes and crates and stuff. And then, is it down or up the stairs? Yeah, it's downstairs. Downstairs into the cellar, which is the other half of the map there. You'll see. And there'll be a few people there, kind of laid out on little mattresses, little mats there. There's a strong smell of opium in the air. There's another man sitting up on one of the mats currently smoking from an opium pipe. And there's another man here, flanked by 4 bodyguards standing around him. Here he is. And obviously the fact that he's standing there with 4 really, probably the biggest Asian men you've ever seen in your life. You ever see, are you a fan of Kung Fu movies, Rob? I can't think of the guy's name.
Yeah.
John, you may know. What's the name of the guy, the really big...
Bolo.
Yeah,
Bolo.
Bolo. These 4 guys look like Bolo. They're like Bolo's identical twin brothers or quintuplet brothers, basically. And they're all standing around this man, who's a much more smaller statured man, who you can pretty much probably guess to be the man you're looking for. No nonsense Namdak. And he will just stare at you as you come in.
Okay.
So he's actually kind of sitting down on one of the mats, and the other 4 men are standing kind of 2 over his left shoulder, 2 over his right shoulder.
Okay, so I'll walk slowly towards him.
Yep.
Looking him in the eye.
He'll look you in the eye.
Get within talking range. And asked if he's what was the name of the person I was supposed to see here?
No.
No. Let's say Mr. No, I presume.
That is what some men call me. And who are you?
My name is Gerard Bonhomme.
Gerard Bonham. And what business do you have with me, Gerard Bonham?
I traveled different places through the world and have experiences beyond what we could call reality in certain areas. And I came upon this here that we took an etching of. I'm very interested to add it to my books on esoteric and unusual items. What could you tell me about this?
He's looking at it very intently. He reads over it a couple of times. Hang on 1 second. I got to murder a cat.
Well, if he wasn't on a watch list before.
Sorry about that. Okay. So he reads over it a couple of times. You see his mouth moving a little bit silently as he does so. He says, and where did you get this, Mr. Gerard Bonham?
I purchased it from a gentleman in the States.
You purchased this, a piece of paper.
Yeah.
He's looking at you intently. Give me a psychology roll.
.56, and I'll have to look at my psychology real quickly here. And it is, let's see, psychology, I have 20, so that was a failure.
Okay. So what was your answer when you said you purchased this sheet of paper again? Sorry.
Okay.
I told him that I purchased a piece of paper from a man in the States because it was unusual.
Right.
Yeah.
He sighs. He says something in a language which you don't understand. And one of the men walks around you, past you, and walks over and stands in front of the stairs. He says, Mr. Gerard Bonham, I do not like liars. So I will give you one more chance. Where did you get this transcription?
The way I told you may not have been the complete truth. I did not actually buy it. I actually stole it.
You stole it from who?
There was a gentleman that I had met, and he was bragging about his status statue. and he showed me the etching of it. We got a little drunk, and I ended up with the sketch. We had just met that night.
Do you know this gentleman's name?
His name is Johnson.
Jones.
Johnson, I believe he said.
Howard Jones, he says.
He was a little bit under the cups at the time.
Perhaps you should not drink so heavily, Mr. Gerard Bonham. Bad things can happen to you.
No, I wasn't drunk. He was.
Oh. So why do you not remember his name?
No, I thought he said Johnson.
Oh. I see why you must come to me then for this information. You are obviously not very resourceful. Very well, he folds up the paper and he puts it inside of his shirt. I will tell you what it says.
Thank you.
But first, you must pay me. 10 pounds.
10 pounds. I have something you may be interested in rather than the 10 pounds.
You would attempt to bargain with me, Mr. Gerard Bonham?
You may find it interesting, or one of your clients may find it interesting. By what I see here in this room, you cater to people that want to escape this reality, so to speak. True?
Well, you assume that I own this establishment, but please tell me, what are you offering?
Yes, I'll reach in my pocket and I'll pull out some peyote and I'll hand it to him. I got this in the southwest of America. And it's similar, yet different than what you're giving your clients now. So if you have somebody that is wanting to try something unusual, something that you may not be able to find here in this area, this would be it.
What is it?
It's a hallucinogenic. It's an herb, a plant that's been dried.
And you think this is worth 10 pounds?
You're not going to find any more of it in London. Your clients will not be able to find it here. Probably in all of England. It's rare even in America.
But there is not very much here, Mr. Gerard Bonham.
Oh, you could get much more than 10 pounds for what that is and for what it does. Give them half of it and they will pay you much more for the second half.
I think maybe you don't have very much money.
That's true.
How much money do you have, just out of curiosity? Or what's your credit rating, I should say?
1 second. Credit rating is on the bottom, isn't it? The credit rating?
It's in your skills, alphabetical.
All right. 1 second.
Yep, no worries.
Credit. I'm not finding it. Oh, I'm sorry. 9.
Ooh. Yeah. Credit rating 9. Oh, that means at the very most you could have would be 9 pounds in your pocket.
Yeah, pretty much.
How much money do you have, Mr. Gerard Bonham?
On my person at the moment, I have 2 pounds.
He says something in tongue again, and 2 of the bodyguards walk towards you. Are you still standing, or did you sit in front of him?
No, I'm standing.
Okay. Yep. They'll walk over and they'll grab you by the arms and they'll start searching you.
Okay.
Do you only have 2 pounds on you?
Yeah. Remember I said I was going to leave most of my money at home.
Okay. Fair enough. So they start searching you. They turn out your 2 pounds. This is not very much money, Mr. Gerard Bonham. And one of the guards will reach out and pick the 2 pounds up off the mat then and put it in his own pocket.
Okay.
So we have your money. We have your drugs. What else can you give us for this information? By my reckoning, you're still 7 pounds short.
Well, your men searched me and found what I have upon me this time.
Yes, but perhaps there is something else, some other service you can do for us, something to make it worth our while. No?
I am a noted musician.
No, I'm not interested in your music. Perhaps you can help us when we need help.
And what kind of help would you be asking me to do? As you can see, I'm not a fighter. I'm not a warrior. I'm not a...
No, but the people who sent you here, I think they trust you. Don't they?
People that sent me here.
Yes. You're working with that Renard.
Renard.
Yes, I know he too was asking about Mr. Howard Jones recently. The same man that was trying to get the translation of the script. It was taken from a stone, a black stone. Yes?
They
Yeah,
killed
another psychology roll.
Okay.
Yeah.
At 49.
Yeah, it's a failure by 29 points. Well, so what you get out of what he's saying to you is entirely on yours. I can't gift you any more information than that. But yes, what I'm saying is true. Is it not?
As I told you, I got this from a man who I believe called himself Johnson when we were talking. Conversation led into the esoteric. He was under the cups enough that he pulled that out and showed it to me. I took it from him when he was further under the cups.
And he'll say something in Chinese, and then the bodyguard standing to each side of you are going to grab you by the arms forcefully, and the other bodyguard is going to step over, and he is going to punch you in the stomach brutally.
Okay.
Repeatedly.
Ooh. Okay.
Are you going to fight back?
Uh,
Or are you going to take your licks?
I'll take my licks. I don't have any.
Okay.
Skill.
They'll beat you into unconsciousness.
Whoa. Okay.
You will wake up later, lying in the street near the river. Pretty sure you're still in Limehouse. You're basically at 1 hit point. You're battered, bruised, bloodied. You check real quick. You don't think anything's broken. You don't feel anything life-threatening. It doesn't look like you've been stabbed. Just you're sore all over. Everything hurts. You obviously feel like you've just had the living shit beat out of you.
Because you have.
Yes, yes, you have.
Dawn is still waiting for the.
Oh, you had? Did you say you brought your violin with you?
No, I didn't.
No, you didn't. Okay.
Yeah,
You just had the 2 pounds, yeah? Did you have anything else on your person?
Just the Bowie knife on my back.
Yeah, it's gone.
Yeah. Okay. I'll try to make my way out of this area and.
Yeah, you see a lot of people are walking by and looking at you, and you know, again, a lot of them are immigrants as well, but they seem to be kind of looking at you like you know, kind of looking down on you in a bit. You know, you look like a homeless person who just had his ass kicked, basically, at the moment in your current state. But yeah, you can try to figure out your bearings. Yeah, you're not too far from Mr. Fing's Imports.
He has a red credit rating of a 9. He is a homeless person.
Well, he's poor. He is poor. He's a starving artist.
Yeah, no wonder. Yeah.
Makes sense, yeah. But yeah, so you
Okay.
can kind of figure out your way and find your way back to where you're meant to meet up again with who was it that came down with you? Was it everybody or no?
I think the three of us did, but we were, I don't know
Okay.
where, presumably we gave up on him, right? Oh, I mean, so this is the morning? So
No. It's like an hour later.
Oh, okay, right. So we'll still
So
be
it's
in
a little
touch.
after 10 o'clock.
So I imagine,
If you guys didn't want to wait for him, you don't have to.
No. I think we would have arranged to meet him. Like, let's say we were arranged to meet him at a pub on the edge of Limehouse.
Yeah. We didn't want to get too close because
Yeah.
we didn't want
We didn't want to get the shit kicked out of us.
I know.
to. That's true. That's true.
I know.
I think if I go into the pub where we're supposed to meet, I'm going to sit separately from them. Just in case we have somebody watching. Yeah, somebody watching.
Don't be like that, Gerard.
I don't want to, make him really think I was a liar and next time kill me when he sees me. So.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's a good point.
Well, you're pretty sure he knew you were lying. He's
Yeah.
You weren't pulling any wool over his eyes.
Yeah.
But yeah, you go in. So give me spot hidden rolls, guys.
Oh, Jesus.
I got a success.
Yeah, you see him. You see him kind of walk in and sit down at an empty table, like one of the only empty tables left by the door. It's probably the coldest table in the place. And he's, his eyes are black. His nose looks like it's probably broken. His face is all swollen up, and he's got multiple cuts, and his clothes are all filthy and a mixture of blood and just street crime.
My God, man.
Yeah, it's Mon Dieu, man. We were gone for an hour. What happened?
Can we maybe usher him into? Let's like usher him into the restroom and clean him up a little bit, and maybe we can have a conversation in there instead of in full sight of everybody.
Yeah, but they've had restrooms. I guess they must have something. Yeah, sure.
Some sort of washroom.
Sure.
Well,
Yeah. You can get. There's got to be something. Yep.
I said restroom so that you would understand what I meant. They would have had like a toilet.
Yeah. Like a hole in the
trough.
floor, basically, and then like a water closet type thing that pumps a little water through. Yeah. Sure. Yep. Sure. You can take him in there and
Splash some water on his face.
Yeah. No, that hurts. Everything hurts.
I got one thing to tell you folks. Never mention Renard to.
You mentioned Renard.
No, I did not mention his name. He knew him, and he knows people that worked with him and for him much more than what we anticipated. And that's when the fun started.
So what happened? What happened? Did you find out the information, or did they just beat your ass and take your money?
They beat my ass, took my money, and took everything I owned. And all I got was 2 black eyes.
That may be a cracked rib.
Yeah.
What exactly did you say to them?
Not much. Gave him that piece of paper, and I told him that I had got it in one of my travels, and he called me a liar, told me that I was got it from the same person that Renard was watching or inquisiting about.
So they knew you were connected with Hudson and Brand. So
Yeah.
the whole premise for this was false.
I should have ended this myself then.
Yeah, it was. So we shouldn't have put you in that position.
It's okay. I mean, it should have been me, but I think they must have some kind of spy on us or keep tabs of who's coming and going from the house.
Yeah, that's it.
So they knew you were working for Hudson and Brand?
They assumed I was associated with Renault, yes.
Which
Yes,
doesn't...
that doesn't necessarily mean anything for that for you.
Yeah.
Most people don't tend to associate me with any sort of legitimate business.
So how did they make that inference? Because you were asking about the same
Yes.
Same stone.
The same stone that was owned by the Mr. Jones, isn't it? That
Yeah,
owned
Mr.
it?
Jones. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah.
So.
I guess so.
Well, I think we need to
In
get
the
back.
gangster's defense, they did try to reason with you. They tried to bargain, but
£2 was not a
he
good
didn't like
bargain.
he didn't like the fact that you continued to lie after he told you he knew you were lying. That's when he said, "All right."
Well, let's get you back to the office. And if Ronald, is there any way you can cover our trail and check and see if there's someone's following us as we get back to the office?
Yeah, sure, no problem.
Yes, let's get you fixed up. And off
Thank
the
you. Thank you.
Yeah, Bernard's gonna keep an eye out for tail.
Yeah, okay. Give me a spot hidden, Renard, while you do that.
I'm just assuming he has the best spot hidden.
I got an extreme success.
There's no tail.
Okay.
You're very confident of that.
Okay.
We get back, get Markham, get the doctor if necessary to see if we can make sure he's okay.
Renard, you can actually, I tell you what, too, while you guys are taking him to see the doctor. Yep, the doctor whose name, let me see, let's go back over here. Let's remove.
You know, for a drug lord, he looks so innocent.
Oh, doesn't he, though? Yeah.
He's very young looking.
Yeah, he reminds me of my son, actually.
Remove those. There we go. Go back to Golden Square. And what's
Dr. McKenzie.
That's his name, yes, the laryngologist.
Laryngologist.
Yeah, that's what Dr. McKenzie's specialty is. He's a general physician, but he specializes in diseases and illnesses of the throat.
He was in one of our. He was in
Ear,
one of
nose,
the cases.
ENT. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, while you guys take him up to the doctor, and the doctor will get you fixed up. I mean, you'll heal up in a few days. By the time it's time to catch the train to Wales, you'll be back to full health, Rob. Don't worry. They didn't do any mortal injuries or any major injuries. Just lots of minor injuries.
That was such a shame because the whole peyote thing. There was a moment there where I thought you were really gonna,
Oh, it was a good idea. If he would have just fessed up to the lying,
yeah,
he might have made a deal.
That sort of like dealing drugs to the drug dealer, very audacious.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was a gutsy move. Unfortunately, you lost your peyote and the and the etching and your money and your knife and maybe about a pint of blood. But
That might be.
Yeah,
the blood
I feel
will
bad about
replenish.
that.
So Renard, give me what would that be? Give me an idea roll. Just an idea roll.
Okay. That's gonna be. Oh, it's a hard success.
So you get the feeling that this was a message to you from No Nonsense Namdak, and that perhaps he was more dangerous than you thought he was. I mean, you've always known he's been dodgy, he's been shady, he's a criminal. But this is kind of like almost like this isn't a power play, but it is just obviously a message.
Yeah,
what a painful message.
Bernard's just but the Bernard's thought process is, but that would have never happened to me.
No, it just happened to other people around you.
I feel bad about that, but I feel like if I was there, that wouldn't have happened.
So that will wrap up Wednesday night. I guess we can jump back to Wales because you guys, it was like going to be Wednesday afternoon. You can go back to Partra Show.
Yep.
The driver takes you back to Partra Show. You've got rooms still rented, right? Or did you only rent them by the day? You rented
No, we did.
A week or something, I think, didn't you? Yep. So you got rooms there at the what's it called? The Black. Everything's black in this. Blackstone, the Black Mountains Rest, the Black Mountains. Yeah, Black Mountains Rest.
Okay.
Anything else you really wanted to try to do on the Wednesday, etc.?
I think we were going to ask around if there's like a local doctor or midwife or something.
Mm-hmm. Well, there is Dr. Hugh Reese Williams. He
All
has
right.
a small cottage here in town. He's the town physician. So the barman, what was the barman's name again? It is Jenkins. Hugh Jenkins. God, there's a lot of Hughes. Hugh Jenkins and Hugh Reese Williams.
And they're all black.
Yeah. Not really.
Right.
So yeah, he'll tell you where the guest house is, you know. As far as midwives, no midwives.
Perhaps
just the doctor.
a retired midwife?
No, the doctor. He's been the doctor for a very long time.
Then that is where we will start, or we will continue.
Are you not feeling well? Perhaps you should go
genealogy.
see him. He's a very good doctor.
Yes, thank you. That's where we will continue our genealogy search.
Okay.
Birthing records got to start with a birth, after all.
Okay. Yep. Small cottage. So you go there. You can knock on his door.
Mhm.
Ladies first.
Yep.
Right. So Dr. Reese Williams will answer the door. He is well over 70 years old.
Oof.
Yeah, he's ancient, basically. Kind of a smaller man. Obviously, you know how time shrinks a man in his later years. Almost no hair at all on his head. He has probably more hair coming out of his ears and out of his nose than he has on the top of his head. He'll answer the door and say, yes. Oh, are you ill?
Lady, you're up.
Oh no, I was expecting you were going to.
No. Ladies first.
All right. Oh well, thank you. Good afternoon, sir. I'm so sorry to trouble you at home. We are.
I'm a doctor. I'm used to it.
Oh, of course you are, sir. We are doing an investigation into some genealogy, and we have been unable.
Genealogy.
Yes, and we were thinking that it being a small town, that you might have been attending at a birth that we've been investigating.
I attend all the births around here. Oh, let's not just stand in the doorway. You'll catch a cold. Please come in.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I'm sorry, what was your name again?
My name is Alice Morrow. How are you?
Alice Morrow. You're not from around here, Mrs. Morrow.
No, sir, I'm not. I'm from London.
And is this your husband?
This is my very good friend, Mr. Reuben Carmichael.
Oh, you kids these days. Well, please come in, Mr. Carmichael. You're letting in the draft.
Thank you, sir.
I know that's not a Welsh accent at all, but I don't give a shit. I can't do accents. So he lets you guys in. Then it's pretty small cottage. He's got like an obvious work area there. He's got a table like bed type thing, and unfortunately, he only has one chair, which he will offer to Mrs. Morrow.
Of course.
Oh, thank you so much, sir.
So, yes, what is this birth you wanted to ask me about?
Well, there's a birth and a death that we're looking into. You may be aware that Colonel Hardwicke, who had the estate outside of town, has just passed. I don't know if you're familiar with the family.
Oh, well, give me a psychology roll.
Okay.
You're good at psychology, right? Somebody's got to be good at psychology in this party.
I will spend a luck to make it a success.
Okay. You can see that he's very reluctant to say. He's, well, Hardwicke, huh? Yes, it does sound familiar. And let's see here.
looking around, is he fairly well off? Is it a
No.
place? Okay.
No. Well, yes, I'm familiar with the Colonel.
Well, he recently passed away, and
Yes, I know.
and we
I examined his body.
oh, did you?
Yes. Constable Merrick had it brought here.
Well, I don't actually know the details of his passing. We're working with his nephew, who is his heir, and I'm afraid that's all the information that I had. Do you think you could tell me a little bit, and do you think that I could use charm to convince you to tell me a little bit more?
Yeah, go for it.
Oh my gosh, did I make this?
How did you roll?
Um,
You can push,
mm,
but if you push the roll and fail, then he's going to get upset, and he's probably going to
yeah, I know.
not talk to you anymore.
What do you guys think? Should I push it or not?
Push it. Push it real good.
Now remember, if you push it, you can't spend luck.
Use
Yeah,
luck.
It's I'm 10 points.
Use
Use
luck.
luck.
Oh,
Use
10
luck.
points isn't much. No.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
use
think
luck.
that I don't have a ton of luck.
Oh, well, yeah, that's
38.
unfortunate.
Thanks.
Oh, well, that's unfortunate. Okay, it's up to you. You can spend 10 luck or you can push it. If you push it, though, like I said, because I do have to tell you the consequences.
Yeah.
If you fail, then he's going to basically get upset and he's going to ask you to leave and he won't talk to you anymore.
And how would you push it? Don't you have to say like what you would do? Like,
Yeah, true enough. You do have to kind of describe it. I assume she's going to just try to
Yeah,
try to
I,
coax him.
I would
set him at
bat
ease.
my eyelashes a whole
that's what
lot.
I'm thinking.
And-
Right.
Eyelash batting.
There you go.
Yeah.
Button 1 of 32 buttons.
I
You
don't-
always want to
Mr.
push it just
Carmichael.
that little bit too far.
Mr. Carmichael. For
Okay.
shame.
Okay.
This is why he's single.
One of many reasons.
Okay. I guess I'm gonna push it then.
I've been zorned in love.
Okay.
Come on, push it.
Yes.
There you go.
How awesome is that? Let me see here. That is better than a hard success.
Okay. Well, yes, Albert. Well, he was thrown from a horse. Apparently, that's what the constable told me from what they found at the scene. Body was found by a sheep herder. Said the colonel still had his watch and his money and his revolver. So yeah, didn't seem to be robbery as a motive. Well, anyway, no one in this village seems to have any idea who would want to kill Albert. He was very well liked here.
Where was he found?
Yes, in the wilderness between here and his estate to the northwest, on the old track.
Interesting. Were you just out of curiosity, might you have been present for his nephew Nathan's birth some 20 years ago?
Well, yes, I'm familiar with Nathan and his birth. It was a shame what happened to his mother.
Had she been ill, or was it a difficult birth?
Well, you see, that poor young woman, she was attacked in the wilderness herself.
Oh, really?
Yes, and when she recovered, she seemed to have blocked out what had happened to her. She was raped, you see.
Mm.
And oftentimes the mind will do such things to cope with the pain. It'll just block out the memory. Well, sure enough, it turned out that she was pregnant, and poor girl, she became a pale shadow of herself, carelessly wasting away in that house as she slowly came to term. He starts to rub his eyes a little bit. You see him wiping some tears away. Well, when the child was born, Oh, poor Clarissa went berserk, and she tried to kill him. We separated them, and she begged me and the other servants to kill the little monster, she called him. So we had to keep them apart, and on the next day, she seemed to have calmed down, and she asked to see her baby. And well, in our, I suppose, our optimism, we brought him in, thinking perhaps that they would bond. But
Well,
she went after him with a table knife.
Oh my goodness!
Yes. So again, we had to separate them, and I heavily sedated her at that time. The next morning, unfortunately, Mrs. Llewellyn, one of the servants, went into her room and found she had hung herself from the bedpost.
Oh dear.
Poor Albert, he was emotionally destroyed by all of this, and he promptly shut up the place and moved back to London with the boy.
Oh goodness, that's terrible.
Yes, very sad. The boy was a normal, healthy child. It was a normal childbirth. I think the attack that she suffered must have unhinged her so much that she had blocked it out. And then when the boy was born, it triggered her memories all over again. And that's where the resentment and hatred came from.
Well,
But
goodness.
that's psychology is not my specialty, but
Well, certainly. I was wondering because the young man we've met him before, and he's very pale. I was wondering if there was perhaps some sort of condition that ran in the family.
no,
Or the hemophiliacs, perhaps.
no. Clarissa was pretty healthy, right up to the point to when she hung herself. Well, physically, anyway. Maybe not emotionally or mentally.
Goodness. Well, thank you so much for sharing that with us. We're trying to.
Yes, I'm sorry it's not a happier story.
Oh no, I appreciate your telling us. We're trying to sort out some business for Mr. Nathan Hardwicke regarding the estate, and just wanted to make sure that all of the I's had been dotted and T's had been crossed.
Of course. Well, you know where to find me if you should need me while you're here, of course. I do wish you good health, though, and hope you will not need an old doctor's services such as mine.
I certainly hope not, but I know that if I ever do, that I would be in the best of hands.
Oh, well, you're too kind, Mrs. Morrow, too kind. And he looks at Carmichael and says, well, I wish you a good day then, and, well, she's a very good woman, sir. You should keep a good eye on her.
I will, sir. I will. Thank you for your time.
And he'll walk you to the door.
Then we take our leave.
Mm-hmm. See, that's Mrs. Morrow doing what she does.
Wow, that just went dark. That just went dark.
That is actually exactly where I thought it was going. So
well, it went there with a freight train. That was like,
I don't know what you're talking about.
Because I'm thinking now, I was thinking they were the ones in danger. Now I'm thinking we're the ones in danger in London.
no, I think we're all in danger. I mean,
Yeah, equally.
I thought we were in Wales.
Anything else you want to do? Basically, there's another 2 full days to pass after this day, and then everybody will be meeting up in Wales. So, is there anything else you'd really want to try to accomplish over the next couple of days, basically? Because I'd like to try to move everybody together.
Sure. Yeah. No, I can't think of anything else we need to do.
Yeah, I'm at a loss. I was hoping that would take us somewhere, but yeah, we're good. We got everything we needed. We'll just lay. Yep, we'll lay low.
What about in London? London side, anything you guys want to do over the next couple of days? Of course, poor Gerard is going to need a couple of days probably to recover properly. He's pretty The doctor will look after him well. I mean, you'll be back at full hit points before the train leaves on Saturday. But you just got battered and bruised, and he probably gave you some heavy medicine. Probably gave you morphine. I don't even know. Like, what else would they give you back then?
Is there a telegraph?
Laudanum.
Laudanum, yeah.
And I'm getting this confused with the 20s, but is there a telegraph line from?
Oh yeah, they have telegraphs.
Is there any way we could just send a telegraph to Ruben and Morrow and just ask, is everything okay?
You
within those
could,
days.
yes. Now the thing is how would you know where to send it to? I mean, you could just send it generally to the town.
That's true. Yeah, actually,
but
that's
if
true.
they don't go looking for it, then they won't ever know that it arrived.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
But you can send one, by all means.
That's fine. You're right. I don't know exactly. Tell the Western Union.
People don't like have telegrams in their rooms, of course. You know what I mean? Right. There's like an office that they go to.
Right. Okay, that's fine.
Maybe with a little bit of luck, they'll send you a telegram.
Maybe we could telegram the office and ask them to pass it on. I mean, presumably there's only a few. It's a small place, right? So
I would assume the telegraph receivers would want to find it because they'd get paid.
Yeah.
Okay, I suppose so.
Yeah, it's just a small note.
Sure. That sounds good to me. I don't really know how that works. That's technology is well before my time. But yeah, sure. That sounds good to me. I'm convinced, John.
Now we have to write the telegraph, right? And it like how bleak have things got? Stop.
I wasn't thinking that dark. I was thinking, how are things? Are you well?
Are you still alive? Stop.
Yeah, basically. Nothing to say, have you found the big bad thing from Cthulhu yet? Nothing like that. How are you?
Anything that we need to be worried about regarding Nathan? Stop.
Well, it's just something. How are you? Is everything well?
Yeah. How are things in Wales?
Yes.
Rob, you asked what I happened to see that pop up. What Nathan's studying? He is studying history at King's College.
Any particular history, or just general?
British history, particularly. He studies multiple branches of history, but British history was his main focus.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem. Happy to help.
But for me,
that's the question pop up on the bottom there. So.
But for me, that's the only other thing I'm doing till Saturday.
Okay, so we get this telegram?
Sure. Yep. He'll bring it to the Black Mountain Rest, because like, just where else would any strangers be in Brecknockshire? Surely this would be the place to find them. And so So when did you send it?
Probably the next day after we recovered Bonham.
Okay. Cool. Yep. So you guys would get it probably like around lunchtime. I don't know how long that really takes to send and all that, but yeah, so you get it around lunchtime.
Well, what do you think we should say?
Well, I would be hesitant to say too much because it's going to be received. Exactly. Yeah, it's going to be received by another person, so we don't have a way to encrypt it. So
no.
I would say be vague at best.
Let's see. We're doing well.
Stop.
Town not especially hospitable, but not in danger. Stop. Interesting family history. Stop. Look forward to seeing you soon. How's that sound?
Run for your life. Stop.
All right.
Maybe not that part.
And you would have that by dinner time on the Thursday.
Okay. And basically, I just wanted to make sure they're still alive.
Yep.
Seems to be.
Yeah.
Somebody responded.
Yeah, true.
But it was a very distinctive Alice Morrow.
Kind of.
Would you put a return address? I don't know if you would do that on television. Would they just to say Black Mountains Rest
Yes. Rather than saying, looking forward to seeing you, we're at the Black Mountains Rest.
Right.
Okay. All right. So that's it.
Okay. Cool. Anything else over the next couple of days? Anybody want to get in any more trouble or?
Nope. Or wait it out calmly, staying out of trouble, as a matter of fact. Taking in the sights.
So if anybody does check in with Nathan over the next couple of days, he seems quite jovial and normal. He's generally pretty shy and quiet for the most part, but I mean, it seems like life is proceeding as normal for him. He doesn't seem like nothing seems wrong with him or anything of that sort. He's just going to school during the day, and then he does some tutoring in the evenings, and and then he reads until he falls asleep, and then he goes back to school in the morning, et cetera, until the Saturday morning when it's time for the 5 of you, including him, to depart. He'll see Gerard and say, "Oh, what happened to you?" Because you still have some bruising on your face, although you're back to full hit points.
I got mugged. Went to the wrong way.
Oh my! Oh, London is a terribly dangerous city at times, isn't it?
I find it so.
Well, I'm sure the perpetrator looked much worse. Yes.
I don't remember it actually.
Brilliant.
I know that.
Oh, I see. Well, and he kind of looks away and just kind of the eyes go real big, like "Eesh."
On the ride up, for the sake of not doing metagaming, I would have probably asked him. I know this may be a touchy subject, but did Colonel Albert talk to you about your father?
Well, no, sir. Just said that my father wasn't around. That he only knew my mother for a day. Didn't even know his name.
Did he say where you were born? Anything like that?
No, we never went into the specifics. I would assume here in London, sir.
Okay. All right. All righty. No problem.
He didn't like to talk about that. I think Mother's death really affected him.
Oh, interesting. Interesting enough. All right. I say
Probably
that.
why he decided to raise me as his own.
And I'm not just asking that straight out. I mean, over the long trip up there.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's so the train leaves from Paddington Station early morning. Takes almost about 6 hours on the Great Western Railway, stopping along at Reading, Swindon, Newport, Abershonen, and then from Abershonen. Did you guys send? I assume you sent the Surrey driver up to pick them up.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. So you'll be collected by Thomas. I'll have to get that guy's last name at some point. But,
Kincaid.
Oh no!
Since people are laughing, I'll say no. Thomas something. The Surrey driver will pick you up at Abershonen at the train station to then take you on to Departure Show.
Sumpting is a perfectly good Welsh surname.
What is?
Sumpting.
Something? Yeah. Yeah, so then he will take you on to the Black Mountains Rest in Departure Show, which again, as I had mentioned before, so Departure Show itself, it's a little over an hour's ride from Abershonen. It's a population of about 400 people, so it's a pretty small little village in the valley there at the Green of Vahan. Mostly, obviously, you could tell from the buildings, mostly like farmers and sheep herders. There is a secluded old church, maybe 11th century in the town, though. There's a smithy and stable, and then, of course, the pub. Those are the main buildings, aside from farmers' houses and stuff in the village. So he'll drop you at the Black Mountains Rest. It'll be, by the time you get there, it's about 3 o'clock in the afternoon on Saturday. And Nathan mostly spent most of the time pretty quiet reading. He would occasionally stop to answer Von Zorn's questions, but otherwise he's kept pretty quiet.
Okay. I say, I asked him, when does he want to go see his estate?
You ask him?
Yeah, it is his estate.
As soon as possible, sir. I figured we would leave shortly after we meet up with Mrs. Carmichael, or Mr. Carmichael and Mrs. Morrow.
Oh, okay. I would be careful. Again, I must stress that your grandfather died here, so do be careful until we find the culprits.
My grandfather?
I mean, not your grandfather. I'm sorry, your uncle died here. So do be careful.
Good Lord, you nearly gave me a heart attack. I think the place was cursed or something for anyone with the Hardwicke name.
Well, anyway, I just advise him to please be careful.
You must really work on your English, Mr. Van Zorn. You're going to give someone a terrible fright.
I said, do be careful, and please do not go anywhere by yourself. Always have one of us with you.
Well, I mean that seems a bit much, but let's meet up with them and get ready for. I'm very excited to see this property.
Young,
it's very quaint out here, isn't it?
One cannot be too careful.
It's like something out of a book.
Yes, Voyage of the Damned. Okay.
So yeah, the Black Mountains Rest is a very cozy, rustic-looking place.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see the thin, mutton chop whiskered guy behind the bar there, who will greet you as you walk in, especially seeing such a large party. 5 more people. Say, "Oh, welcome to the Black Mountains Rest."
Yes, welcome.
I believe some friends of ours may be staying here, Miss Morrow and.
Oh yes, the Londoners. You're from London yourself, aren't you?
Well, I wouldn't say. Well, yeah, I suppose so.
To him, all the city accents—they all sound the same. Yes, they're in their rooms. Well, are you in your rooms at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, or are you downstairs waiting for them?
Sounds like afternoon tea to me.
Yeah, probably time for tea. Yeah.
They should be coming down shortly for their afternoon tea. Would you like to have a seat? Can I get you? You must have worked up quite an appetite on that journey.
Yes, that would be very nice. What do you do? Food here?
Of course we do. I've got a lovely mutton stew ready.
Sounds great.
Some fresh bread, and some root vegetables.
The stew sounds great.
Excellent. Stew for everyone.
Please have a seat.
Okay. So,
would we have probably heard the commotion of them arriving outside?
Yeah, you probably have.
So I would go and knock on Ruben's door and let him know that I think our friends have arrived. And I'm going to get downstairs to say hello to them.
I will join. It sounds like it's afternoon tea anyway.
Yes, indeed. All right, so we come downstairs.
Okay. Yep. And the party is finally reunited.
Good to see all of you. I'm so relieved to have us all back together again.
Jenkins will say, "Oh, Mr. Carmichael and Mrs. Morrow, would you like some stew?"
That would be lovely, thank you.
Yes, it's very good to be here. Barkeep, do you
tea? Interesting.
Well, tea is just an afternoon meal. Generally,
Yes.
am I wrong, Seth?
Well, it's
Granted,
normally
stew is
more
probably a little bit
snacky.
heavy.
Yeah, exactly. But it's Wales.
It's a late lunch.
Yeah.
Barkeep,
Second breakfast.
Second breakfast. It is good to see you though, and there's I think probably much to discuss. There are things that we've discovered in London, and I'm very interested to find out what you've discovered here.
Not a tremendous amount, but let's have our stew, and then perhaps we can go upstairs where it's a little quieter to discuss.
I see.
This.
You can go upstairs with these 5 men? Ooh, scandalous.
Working.
Well, they're going to be taking rooms too, right?
Mrs. Morrow, you city folk.
Aren't they getting rooms here as well?
I don't know. Are you gonna secure rooms, or are you planning to stay out at Nathan's estate?
I was thinking we would stay out at the estate.
It might be a good time to plan where you want to say you can all stay in one place. You can stay in multiple places.
A good point.
At the point they mentioned staying at the estate, Reuben will stifle and perhaps you might want to stay in town.
Why?
It's in disrepair.
Yes, that is a good answer.
Okay.
How bad? I mean, is there roofs?
Bad enough that you would want to stay in town.
Really? Oh, we have to get out there. Please eat quickly, gentlemen. I really must see this place. I will be staying there myself, but of course you don't have to stay. You can stay wherever you like. I will happily pay for rooms for all of you here if you like.
That's very generous, but I wonder whether it's sensible for you to be staying alone, especially if the place is in disrepair, as Miss Morrow.
I can understand your enthusiasm, but perhaps after you've seen the estate, you'll realize that it does need some work, and we could get a crew out there, and your money would be better spent to get it up to standards.
Oh, don't worry, Mr. Carmichael. I won't ask you to do anything you're not comfortable with. Excuse me, good sir, he says, walking up to Jenkins. How many rooms do you have available? And Jenkins will look at his hands and kind of say, I have 4 left after the 2 that they are in.
Hey,
he says, will I secure you all rooms here, or would you like to come and stay at the estate with me? Now, everybody make psychology rolls when he says this.
I was about to
For
ask
anybody who is paying attention anyway to Jenkins or...
I was about to ask you, I'm looking at him, does his attitude seem to change Nathan's? I mean, does he seem...
He does seem a little bit more...
he seems animated,
he
doesn't
seems
he?
a little bit more
A
excited.
little more alive. Yeah.
That's definitely a success for me.
Failure for Reuben.
So anybody who succeeded will notice that as soon as he says, would you be coming to stay at the estate with me, Jenkins has a definite reaction of fear and revulsion, and like momentarily just kind of jerks back and takes a sharp intake of breath. Nathan doesn't notice; he's got a back turned to him. And also a couple of patrons in the place drink their drinks and leave immediately.
Oh,
Is there anyone who didn't leave?
they get
Oh,
the
there are
vapors.
some that didn't leave yet. There's just a couple of them left.
They got the vapors and bailed.
Well, of course, Nathan, wherever you go, I'll go with you. I do not feel comfortable leaving you alone.
Very well. Well, Mr. Carmichael, Ms. Morrow, I believe you already have rooms. Oh, and I will, of course, take care of the fee for the carriage.
Very well. Thomas is a good man.
What about the rest of you? Mr. Bonham, Mr. Bursey, Mr. Renard?
Well, I'm interested in seeing the place. I wonder whether we should all travel there this afternoon just to reconnoiter the place, and then maybe we can decide. I haven't seen it for myself, so it's not clear to me whether we could stay there or not. But if Miss Morrow and Mr. Carmichael have been there, then maybe they can show us. They can show us around, seeing as they've got the lie of the land, so to speak.
Yeah, there should be plenty of room in the carriage as long as someone rides in the back.
I'm happy to ride in the back. I'm used to it.
So,
Before we
we'll leave
leave,
the rooms as they are for now, good landlord. Thank you very much.
Before we leave, I will ensure that everyone that there were some dogs seen, some packs of dogs, that to ensure you bring any sort of rifles or pistols that you have with you.
Okay, I have a spanner.
Excellent. I'm sure that will stand you in good stead, sir.
It is an excellent spanner. Also, maybe my colleagues and I might have a moment once we've eaten the stew. Maybe there are some discussions that we need to have before we set out, while Nathan maybe loads his luggage onto the carriage or whatever.
His luggage is already loaded.
I guess it is already loaded.
You basically want to ditch him
Well, I want to find out what's happened, and I don't want Nathan to have to.
He's gonna have to use the privy at some point.
Well, no. Mrs. Morrow will look at Reuben and say, "Can you brief them?"
Indeed.
Excellent. And she will go over and strike up a conversation.
If we're in the clear, go ahead.
Mrs. Morrow will go over and strike up a conversation with Nathan and ask him if he would like to step outside and get some air, and basically just distract him so that Reuben can tell everybody else what's going on.
He says, I don't really require any fresh air, but if you do, I'd like to see some more of the village. I will walk with you, my lady.
That would be wonderful. Thank you so much.
He's going to motion for one of the buttons. Go for the button.
So he'll step outside with Mrs. Morrow. See, Mrs. Morrow doing what she does best.
Gentlemen, the estate is in a dilapidated
state
condition. Exactly. It's in a dilapidated condition, and there are some peculiarities. One outstanding one, of course, was that there were no buckets or ropes. But that's neither here nor there.
I don't believe it. Surely not. Are you sure?
Oh, God.
The telegram made mention of family arrangements. What was that an allusion to?
There may be a situation with the parentage of the young man.
Yes, we've been researching that. What have you found?
That there may be a situation with the parentage of the young man. A bit of a mystery of who the father was. Or
yes, we know that, Reuben. What have you found?
If I knew what it was, it wouldn't be a mystery.
Well, so in London, it's not clear where Nathan was born. Do you have a sense of...
He was born here. His
Right.
mother was traveling in the woods, was absconded by some individual, raped, and
everybody give me spot hidden rolls. It's still in the pub.
You know, Reuben, you might want to start with that. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I passed the roll.
I got a hard success.
So as you guys are having this conversation, you notice a couple more patrons leave. They don't even finish their pints and just leave.
I assume we're not saying it out loud, right?
Well, it sounds to me like you're saying it pretty loud.
And is there still anyone else left in there?
There is just a couple of people, and there's a third one, kind of a grim, bearded old man sitting at a corner table who's looking directly at you, his eyes kind of twinkling, and he just kind of nods.
Okay, I'm going to approach him.
Reuben's going to look over at the old man and point and say, see? He knows. He understands.
Okay.
Yeah, pointing, not good.
The situation is curious to say the least.
Okay.
I will not be staying at the estate. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So his mother was raped in the forest by someone or something. And
something. What are you talking about? Obviously, she was raped by a person, and it broke her mentally. And then eventually, when the child was born, she tried to kill the child, and when was unsuccessful, killed herself.
She tried to kill the child. So she didn't. She did not die in childbirth. She died. She committed suicide.
Yes.
You really should lead with that next time.
Okay. And this is known by, so who, like, is this known by the town in general, do you think?
The doctor we spoke to, he's nearly a centurion, and he witnessed the birth.
Okay. So he was, okay, so maybe not everyone knows this. He was clearly, he had a special role to play. But
so at this point, Renard, you've reached the table the old man's sitting at, and he says, oh, you're here with the Hardwicke boy.
Yes, we are.
I have a tale to tell you.
I suspect there's some price to the tale.
Oh, just a few pints, maybe? After the boy leaves, when he goes to the estate, we can talk. I don't wish to talk while he's still in the village.
I can appreciate that, and I will be more than happy to finance your pints.
I will be here all day, sir. And he already reeks of alcohol, but
yes, down drunks are the most reliable sources of information.
Yeah, what's that guy's name? Zadok Allen. Zadok Allen.
That was my plan when I came to this place in the first place. I'm like, where's the drunkest guy in town? He's gonna have all the information.
Yeah, they're great with information. It just may not be reliable.
So sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your conversation. I just wanted to get it in real time there. Please continue.
Yeah.
And with the old man, go ahead. Sorry.
Is it with the old man? Am I continuing with the old man, or is it the other conversation?
Oh no, he's got nothing else to say to you until after Nathan's gone.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
The conversation that I interrupted to bring that up. Sorry.
Well, now I just want to know what happens with the with that guy. I'm like,
oh, don't you though?
So, but now we do know that Nathan was born here, possibly on this estate, and so the connection between the family and the estate is a lot clearer. But the identity of his father seems super important now.
That's right. I mean, if it's a person, if she was raped in the woods, then
if it's a person, Von Zorn, where is this idea that you immediately are jumping ahead to a kind of monstrous rapist?
Wait 1 second. It cut me off before I was about to finish what I'm saying. I said, if it was a person from this village, maybe we can find out who it is.
Good. Okay, that's a lot more.
Yeah, you've got a dark mind, my friend.
Okay, that's
give
what I'm thinking.
Give me an idea roll, all of you.
Okay. Yeah, I passed that.
Yeah, easy.
The thought does cross your mind that if his mother was raped in the wilderness a little over 20 years ago, and then now 20 years later, Albert is murdered in the wilderness. I mean, it could be somebody from the village. There could be some crazy murder hobo, literally, living out in the woods somewhere. I mean, it's just a thought that might cross your mind, given the coincidence that she was attacked in the woods, he was later attacked in the wilderness.
Like a cicada murder hobo that only comes out every 20 years.
Well, that
cycle of murder.
I'm not saying it's it could be a red herring. I'm not telling you whether it's accurate information.
I know.
Just simply saying it's a possibility, given the fact that it's an interesting coincidence. Much like you guys drew the coincidence, 1870, 1880, 1890. One of them dies every 10 years.
It's like a Halley's Comet type of thing.
Mm-hmm. And also,
much faster.
If there was one rape in the area, there's usually more than one because they tend to be serial rapists. So,
well, who's got a dark mind now?
Yeah.
But it's it's not a supernatural dark mind. It's more of a true detective's dark mind.
Fair enough. We're playing Call of Cthulhu. Dark minds are welcome here.
So have you met with the constable in charge of the case?
We have.
Does he know where the body was found?
He does, and he's very reluctant to speak to any of us.
Yeah. Maybe we need to get him on side. Maybe making better relationship with some of the people in the town, like the guy over there that Reynard is talking to, might help.
It's entirely possible.
But somewhere out in the wilderness, maybe we should check the scene of the crime.
That would be good.
How long was it been since the colonel was murdered?
It's a couple of weeks now, I think.
Let's see exactly. Hold on. What does it say? How long ago was he murdered at the beginning? So many pages.
It says 2 weeks ago when we met Nathan.
I want to say it was the colonel had been buried for 10 days or something like that at that point.
Yeah, I think it must be 3 weeks ago. now, given that we've spent time in London since the case started.
Here's Nathan. So, looking at the murder of his uncle. They say how long? Yeah, so it's been a couple weeks, 2 to 3 weeks anyway. Ouch.
So, I doubt if there's any physical evidence at the site, but where that is might be, maybe it's important.
Would be curious if it's related to the same area where the young lady was raped.
Yeah, although that's going to be even harder to determine, given how long ago it
Probably
was.
the only person who knows where that was Albert. If Albert even knew, maybe Clarissa was the only one who knew exactly where that took place. Just a thought.
Why did the doctor you talked to say why did his mother just wanted to hang herself?
Yeah, you're right. It was 2 weeks ago that he had been murdered, and now it's been another 5 days. So you're looking at like 19 days since the murder.
Because she was broken by the actual rape itself, and then the birth of the child was too much for her to bear. I would imagine the memory of the rape carried through, and that's what broke her.
And she tried to kill the child?
Correct.
Why?
Claiming something of him being a beast, but again, I think there's some sort of association with the actual rape itself.
Claiming that he's a beast. Why would she? Oh, that's interesting.
Because she was raped, my friend. Clearly it undid her.
Yeah, understandably. And the way that the townspeople, there's a sense that the town knows this history, right?
That seems to be true. It's a small town, after all.
Exactly. So, and this is 20 years ago. So the rapist will have been, is 20 years older, possibly doesn't live here anymore, possibly may have passed away.
Oh, goodness. I'm going to ask Nathan the question when he gets back.
I want to know what Reynard is getting out of the old guy in the corner.
Well, that'll happen when you guys leave to go to the estate. So, eventually, of course, Nathan and Mrs. Morrow will have to come back. Nathan's quite eager to get on. So, it's like,
Nathan, I was just curious. When is your birthday?
Oh, you asshole. Let's see. Let's say January, sir. January 20th.
Okay.
Why?
I'm just curious. Okay. I just wanted to know. I was what I was trying to do was seeing was his birth. Does his birth coincide with us being here now, or his uncle died?
Well, you're here in the spring now.
Right, so it doesn't. It doesn't. So there's nothing.
At least the date he gave you doesn't.
No.
Yeah, if that's the right date, how does he know?
Yeah, true.
You don't know what his uncle told him. So,
okay, so are we ready?
Are we ready to go? Like, I really want to go out to the station.
Yes. Yes. Let's go.
There's only a few hours of daylight left. If any of you are going to be coming back to the village, well, we better get moving.
Miss Morrow, were you going to stay behind, or were you going to go to the?
No, I'd like to come with, if I may.
Oh, okay.
What about you, Carmichael? Are you going along?
I guess I'm going along.
Okay. Anybody not going along other than Renard, who apparently is going to take one for the team and stay behind to talk to the drunk old man?
If you don't want to come out, Ruben, you can stay with Mr. Renard.
No. I'm going to go along to confirm the findings we found before, and to bring along a bucket and rope.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good idea. Yes, you can buy one. Mm-hmm. Like I say, you probably bought one a couple of days ago.
I've had one since the moment we got back.
Okay, good. So you guys depart on the carriage. Now nobody has to ride on the back because Renard is staying behind to talk to the old man. So he, of course, taps his empty mug.
And Bernard will motion for more alcohol.
Yep. So Jenkins will bring them over. And he'll begin to tell a tale. And, you'll end up buying him a few pints over this time. He says, well, you might have noticed the reaction some of the people around here have had towards that boy.
Yeah, I thought it was some sort of smell or really garbage reaction.
Did you see the look on Jenkins' face when he said, my estate? Oh, it's priceless.
Yes, quite.
Well, about 20 years ago, you see, that Albert Hardwicke and his sister Clarissa, oh, what a looker she was. They summered here in the manor. Fuck, summered? Shit. Okay, his birthday's March 20th. They summered here in the manor. He was a very likable man, a good hunter, always told a good tale, loved to have a few drinks. She was a bit shy herself and kept to herself over at the estate. Some people think that maybe Albert encouraged her to stay at the estate so she wouldn't get involved with any of the local men. No one could blame him for that. She was quite the lady. Well, anyway, he sets his empty mug down. Oh, that was good. Have you finished yours yet?
No, go ahead.
Jenkins. Jenkins kind of rolls his eyes and brings over another. Well, anyway, where was I?
Staying at the manor away from the townspeople.
Right, yes. So she always stayed at the estate by herself for the most part, and he would come into town and drink and fraternize with us locals. One day, anyway, Albert, he stormed into this here pub, you see, sputtering as someone had attacked his sister in the woods, and he wanted to gather together some men to hunt for the swine who did the deed. So, of course, a handful of locals aided in the search, but nothing came of it. Nothing was found. Well, that poor Clarissa, that girl was never quite right after that. And lo and behold, 9 months later, she had a baby boy. Now, depending on who you talk to, that lady either died giving birth to the child, or she became sick or mad and died, or hung herself or something like that afterwards. You'd probably have to ask Alan or Marie Llewellyn. They were the servants back then. Or maybe Dr. Rhys Williams. But he's pretty closed-mouthed about patient things like that,
Oh, yes, I see.
Anyway, so, after Clarissa died, well, Albert, he closed up the place and took the infant with him. Nobody had been out there since then until a few weeks ago when Albert showed up again, saying he was going to sell the place finally. He spent several days out there all alone. He came into the village one day to post a package. Jenkins! One for me and one for my friend here. Yep. On his tab. Yes. Where was I?
Posting something.
Posting something. No, I didn't post. Oh, right, Albert. Yes. He came into the village one day and posted a package, some heavy thing, I was told, and I guess it was on his way home that then from dropping off the package that he was killed. No idea who the murderer was. Give a psychology roll there, Stanton.
Hard success.
You detect a note of amusement in his eyes, like he's enjoying this tale. Well. Here we go. Oh, you haven't finished yours? I'll drink this one for you. Now he's double fisting.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, no one knows who the murderer was, he says. He's drinking. He's starting to get really hammered now because he's pounded like 4 pints in the last 10, 15 minutes. Well, I tell you who I think it might have been. I think it was the Toatig. Yeah, that's what it was. And give me a spot hidden road. Toatig.
Ooh, that's an extreme.
You see the last couple of customers in the bar now, like they slam their pints down and they're staring at the two of you, and shaking their heads, and then they go back to drinking and whispering between themselves in a language you don't understand.
Yes, that
You
word.
don't understand. You don't speak Welsh, do you?
Yeah, that word is foreign to me.
The Fair family. You dolt, the little people. You know, golden hair, pointy-eared, magical folk of the woods. They build fairy rings, live underground, like practical jokes.
Yeah,
Perhaps old Albert did something to the little folk, and they done for him.
or maybe the little folk did something to him first, and they're getting him back for something else.
That's what I said. Where are you from?
France originally.
Oh, that accent. It's terrible. Can barely understand a word you're saying. Jenkins, I need some stew.
I'm from France. Can't you tell by my outrageous accent?
And more beer, please. Well, that's the tale. I told you so. You go on, be on about your way, then, Frenchie. I think I need a little bit of a nap.
Yeah, take care of yourself.
Yeah, you too. Don't let the Toatig get you.
And he'll settle up the bill. I mean, and he'll actually arrange for like 2 or 3 more for him. So
Jenkins says, yeah, "It's very kind of you. I'll wait till he wakes up."
Yeah. I said, you always go on like that?
Nope. Anything else I can get for you, sir? You weren't looking for a room, were you?
No, I just think not.
Good. Well, have a good day then, sir.
All right, and he's gonna try to wrangle some sort of transportation.
And you can see the two people in the well, actually, there's only one now. One of them is left, but the other person's still sitting there and just giving you like the evil eye.
Yeah,
Stink eye.
Yeah, the stink eye, big time.
Yeah. And he'll just kind of look back and give him a very intimidating stink eye. Right back to him.
And they say something in Welsh that doesn't sound polite.
Yeah. Yeah, I could think of a couple of words to say as well. And I'll just turn to leave. Try to find some transportation.
Okay. Unfortunately, there is no transportation. And everybody is giving you the stink eye all over the village. Like people are whispering, they're pointing at you very rudely. And they just kind of give you the cold shoulder and nobody wants to deal with you. When you ask about, I'm looking to hire a horse. There's no horses here.
Yeah.
Good day, sir. The ones that actually speak English to you, the others just speak Welsh.
You Frenchie can nig it.
And that's where I'm going to end this session. You got the Zadok Allen speech. Well, it wasn't Zadok Allen. Guy's name was Evans. You might have actually heard Jenkins behind the bar refer to old drunk Evans.
It wasn't as horrifying as I thought it was going to be.
Well, alive. I don't know how we that house wasn't full of evil.
Or give it time. Give it time.
I know the house. It's an old abandoned estate. I don't know what you're thinking about. Anyway, thanks for watching. Anybody who watched, I'm going to end the broadcast now, and then I'll hang out to talk to you guys afterwards. So, and we'll be picking up part 3 of Daear, which might be the finale. But then I thought maybe this might be. So I think maybe part 3 might be the end. It might not. If it is, it is. If it isn't, it isn't. That's fine. We can do part 4. So yeah, 2 weeks time, same channel.